worry. Oh, we talked about this, Carl and Jim, early in the pandemic when there was no sports betting. And we said, well, these guys are following that guy that you used to talk about all the time, whose name I won't even mention. Sure. But they're going to go away once sports comes back. But they haven't gone away.
No, not only they're not going away, David. They invest so much. I was on Chef's show 2 days ago. He had this great package about all these people who are never going back. They don't have commissions, Carl. No commissions inspired a lot of people to say, you know what, I'm going to buy individual stocks. And they bought if you look at what I have Robinhood on tonight, if you look at what they were buying, they were in there buying all the stocks that ended up doing incredibly well. So who are we to criticize? Who are we?
We can't wait to hear about Robinhood, Jim, because just in the past couple of days, either filings or reports of Robinhood, Airbnb, DoorDash, we haven't yet mentioned Affirm. I mean, it's a wave.
It is a wave, and people are excited about it, and people are excited about stocks, and we better catch the wave and surf the wave, or else we're going to be left behind. Individuals like stocks so much, and if they can't buy a $500 NVIDIA, they'll buy a fraction of NVIDIA. David, they will listen to what Malone says, and they will buy a stock if Malone says it's good, because they'll say
it's great.
Malone's great.
I think people should, because it's a new generation needs to listen to somebody like that who's been allocating capital for now 40 years. I mean, obviously built businesses and still has a great idea about that, but is also allocating capital.
How about the Discover?
So
He gave us Discover.
He gave us Discovery, yeah.
How about David? That was an 18 and went right to 28.
Yeah.
You think the millennials that look at Google Malone will say very wealthy guy, really smart. Mm-hmm. They'll come on and say XYZ, and then they will go buy it, and they will make money. Whereas all the Armageddonists, Carl, they'll sit back and say that's a foolish thing.
Well, you know, since you mentioned it, we might as well get to a bit more of my conversation with John Malone, of course, chairman of Liberty Media. We typically spend a lot of time, as you might imagine, talking about the significant changes that have been taking place in the video ecosystem, for lack of a better term, direct to consumer. We focus so much on it. It's so important to Disney's business model. It is Netflix. Is it important to Amazon, to Apple? But it's a place we always start with John, at least I do every year. And I did again, sort of saying, give me your take on the landscape, given HBO Max is now up and running. Our own Peacock here, the Comcast is up and running. What does the landscape for direct-to-consumer look like?
Clearly, there's one dominant player in direct-consumer, which would be Netflix. That has scale and globality. Disney is making a pretty good run at it, getting substantial numbers, penetration, at least in the U.S. and in some foreign markets. Yet, I don't think we've yet seen.
Hey guys, how's it going? Morning, Opcan. Morning, Peter. Morning, New Levels. Morning, Active. Morning, Greg. Let me post this on the social media real quick, guys, and then we can get started. You know, there's a huge drop this morning for US 30. You know, a bunch of speculators just hopping into the market. So you can see this huge spike right here. The market just opened. A bunch of people try to hop in, jump on that bandwagon, and dropped about 1,300 pips, and then retraced right back up nearly 1,000 pips. So this is why we don't take the signal on market open, because there's a lot of manipulation that happens during that time. More so because a lot of people, they see what happened the day before and they just want to hop in and you know, jump in on the hype, and we don't fall for any of that. Kai, sorry guys, I'm gonna mute myself real quick. Yeah, be quiet, Kai. Sorry guys, my dog is barking. Let me post this on the social media real quick. Morning, everybody. Looks like everyone's still coming in. Morning, Spencer. Morning, Usman. Morning, Gactive. Morning, Nicole. Morning, Issa. Morning, Matt. Morning, everybody. Like I just mentioned earlier, there's a huge drop on US 30 this morning, and this is why we don't take the initial candle on, you know, the open of the stock market, because there's a lot of manipulation that happens during that time, because a lot of people see what happened, you know, the night before, this huge drop, and then people have their after hours market orders set because they want to jump on this bandwagon. So as soon as the market opened, all of those sell orders flooded the market. And that's why you see this huge spike right here. So you see this huge spike where it spiked nearly 1,300 pips, and then it retraces back for about 1,000 pips. So, you know, whoever got into that trade, they might have made money real quick, and then they might have lost it all because they get, you know, sucked into this trap of FOMO, where people just want to, you know, be part of the hype where it's selling, and then they get tricked because all the orders get put in, and then everyone ends up buying the dip. Or, you know, they'll have their sell and then they'll sell off their big position right after. So whoever gets, you know, stuck in this position, they pretty much get screwed, because it's dropped 1,300 pips and it just retraced up nearly 1,200 pips. So whoever was in that sell and didn't get out of this this position, because, you know, it's like a game of chicken. It's like, who's going to jump first? Whoever jumps last ends up losing a ton of money. And now they're probably still holding it. And as they're holding it, this is going to spike up and they're going to get stopped out. So whoever jumped into that hype move right there, you know, is probably not very happy right now if they're still stuck in that trade. And that's the main reason why we don't take the trade, you know, immediately on market open. We wait for the following signal so that we don't get caught in any of these fake outs. So let me just post this on the social media real quick, guys. One more place, the Instagram, and then we can get started. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, you know, we're going to look over the trades that we have active and the trades that we're looking for moving forward. So let me just get this online real quick. Let's see, copy link. It's probably better just to screenshot it. Let's post this on Instagram. Dang, man, it's crazy, dude. It's almost December, guys. This whole month flew by. You know, thankfully we had a great trading week. Not just a week, but like the entire month. I think this month has been pretty crazy for all of us. We've had a slow week in the beginning due to the elections and stuff. But then after that, it pretty much skyrocketed like crazy. And it's super beneficial to all of us. All right, let me just post this up real quick. All right. All right, I think we should be good. Yeah, it looks like. One second, guys. Okay. All right, guys. Good morning, everyone. Looks like people are still coming in right now. You know, if you guys send me a message overnight and I haven't gotten to you guys yet, I will get to you guys in a bit. But I do want to look at the charts first before I, you know, get into any messages. Morning, Pascal. How's it going? Morning, everybody. Yeah, so like what I mentioned earlier, you know, this huge drop right here, it was a like manipulated move because it was a bunch of after-hour orders, and this is where we usually wait for it to come back. So at this point, we'll wait for it to either, you know, go down or go up. Obviously, the previous signal was a sell signal, so the next one has to be a buy signal. So, you know, what might happen here is price might come down, and then I might retest this right here, this price point, because you see there's one test, two tests, and then maybe a third test. And then if we get a rejection off it with a buy signal, like something like this or like this, we can probably ride that thing up. But, you know, we're going to be patient with it. We're going to wait for the actual signal to come because, you know, we don't want to hop into this a little too early. So we'll wait for that. This is our odd NTD position. You can see right here, I have an active position on my my live account. I took about 2.3 standard lots. I'm currently in slight drawdown because I got in a little late, but I think it's definitely going to come down. The reason for this is because all the AUD pairs are all bearish. You can see they're all coming down. AUD CAD's coming down. AUD CHF is coming down. AUD USD is coming down. So I do anticipate AUD NZD to also come down. So it looks like the Aussie is weak right now. So that's the reason why I took the sell. I was using the K2SR strategy. Let's see, we have a couple other positions still active too. We have RJPY still active right now. Looks like it's about to hit TP2 for 25 pips. We do have EG over here that is technically still active. I think majority of us got out at TP2 down here. So I don't think anyone's still in this trade. If you are, just make sure to use the exit strategy next time, because you don't want to get caught in any of these whipsaws. However, it does look like price may be rejecting off this zone and may come right back down. But, just keep in mind, always use the exit strategy, because risk management is key, especially at a time like this when the market's kind of swinging all over the place. Same with Euro NZD right here. I'm sure a lot of people got out at 40 pips in profit down here when it dropped. And I did go over this live with you guys. So 40 pips was somewhere around here. You can see price clearly went below that. So you guys had, an opportunity for 3 4-hour candles, which is about, you had 12 hours to move your stop loss and profit. So if you didn't move your stop loss and profit, next time take that as a lesson to use the exit strategy, because you could have been out 40 pips if you're still in this trade. But however, this might happen here where it rejects off it and it might drop to full TP. So if you guys want to, if you guys can handle the risk, it's completely fine. But yeah, those are the 3 positions that we have active right now. All slightly, EN looks like it's about to swing back in profit. Same with our EG over here if it rejects off this point, but our RJPY and AUD/NZD are currently in profit right now. So they both look okay. I'm just gonna let them be for right now. And then we'll just have to wait and see how US 30 plays out. Seems like a lot of people are probably going to be buying the dip at this point, because let's delete this and delete this, because prices dropped pretty heavily since the last drop. So you can see a little pattern right here where price dropped at this point to a pretty low point, and then people bought the dip and then it shot up. Same situation right here. Price dropped a bit right here, people bought the dip, and then it shot up from right here. So same situation over here. People waited for this to drop right here, bought the dip at this point. So same thing right here. It's same pattern over and over again. It drops right here, people buy the dip, and then right here again, another drop. But this drop is pretty heavy. So this drop, generally you don't see, let me just take this off. You don't see these double testings right here for these. Like you can see the drop, it comes up, the drop comes up, drop right here. I guess this would be sort of a double bottom at this point. Right here, and then it shoots right back up, right? So same situation right here, price is coming down. You do see a bit of a double bottom right there. So we could probably, price already, it shot up from that point to right here. So it's probably going to continue on upwards. But we'll see how that plays out. It's just a lot of speculation right now, especially with how the market's been moving. But yeah, we'll be waiting for that buy signal. Let me turn on the momentum indicator so we can catch that momentum. I do have my alerts on too. So if I do get a buy signal, that'll come up on my screen. But yeah, that's basically how I see it right here. Especially if price breaks above this zone right here, and then we get a buy signal, then we can probably see that shoot up. Let me see how far it shoot up from here. Yeah, so if this trade right here was taken, it went up about 1,000 pips. So if we get another buy signal, we'll probably catch it up at least 1,000 pips right here to the next price structure. And then if it breaks it, even higher, because it can come from here to this price structure. And then when it reaches this price structure, it can either, skyrocket to the next one, or it can reject off it. So there's a ton of scenarios here that can play out, guys. But we'll have to wait and see how it does play out. I'm still following the news right here to see if anything else is going to be released. It looks like we have some medium impact news coming up in a few minutes. In about 10 minutes, we have some medium Euro news. The ECB president is going to speak. We also have USD news where the CB leading index is going to be announced, and then retail sales for GBP tonight. So we have two, medium impact news events coming up soon. We'll see how that affects the market. Good, RX is down. Well, yeah, that's going to affect because of Amazon. But let me see what else we got here. Let me pull up CNBC real quick. I'm just going to see if there's any news. Let me copy this over right here. So it looks like all of the indexes, well, not all of them, but majority of them are kind of low right now. So we have, the DJ is down, the S&P is down, the NASDAQ is slightly up, the Russell 2000 is down, and the VIX is also down. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to continue down for the day. So yesterday they were all up and it still came crashing down. So we'll see how that, how that plays out. You can see right here that there's a huge bullish move though. So with this bullish move over here, like I mentioned, if we get a buy signal, we could probably catch that thing up. So we're going to wait for that to happen. Until then, we're going to be patient with it. Let's see what else we got here. All right, cool. So I think that's it for these right here. I'll go down. Okay, there we go. Just like I mentioned, guys, we got the signal for US 30 right here. It's that buy signal. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. If it closes out, then we'll have, we'll have a nice buy entry available. But I don't know. We'll see how this plays out if it actually closes. If not, we might get a false buy signal like this right here. And then if we get that false buy signal, we'll be taking the sell to the downside because we'll interpret that as a continuation downwards. Well, we'll see how this plays out. We have 9 minutes left on this candle, and then we'll see how it goes. Hey, Sam, how's it going? Good afternoon. I keep forgetting everyone's from different time zones. So some people it's afternoon for them right now. For us here in the US, it's morning. But yeah, definitely good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We'll see how this plays out. So we do have a pending signal right here. We'll keep watching. We have about 9 minutes left on this candle, so we have some time before this closes. Just got to get my phone ready because yesterday I wasn't ready for it, and I had to input the trade super quickly. So let me go over to my FTMO account. Yeah, it looks good. So we'll see how this plays out. Chart W30. Yeah, this thing's pushing up pretty nice. So this might be a pretty good entry, guys. Just got my phone ready. Take this trade, and then we can hopefully ride this thing up. So yeah, guys, it's just a game of patience right now because we don't hop in this too early. Because I know some people, if they see a buy signal, they're already ready to buy. But the thing is, you need to wait for it to close because there's no guarantee that that momentum is going to hold. So until it closes, then it will it will give confirmation. Velocity said, "I'll be back to do FTMO for round 2 next week." Nice. So Velocity, you passed your challenge already. That's good. So now you have your verification phase. You guys got to make 5% profit, and then you're funded. Just make sure to take it easy because a lot of people, once they get to the verification phase, they just get too confident, overly confident, and then they end up blowing it all. So, just word of advice, just don't get too confident. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you should be able to pass easily. All right, we got 7 minutes left. The candle disappeared. But yeah, we're still waiting for it. So let's be checking it out for a second here. For right now, let's go through the pairs. I'll make sure everything looks all right. Meanwhile, just want to make sure all the zones are proper, so we close out this week strong, guys. We had a great week so far. At this point, once you get to Thursday, your focus should shift more towards protecting your capital, guys. A lot of people, they start to gamble more once it comes to Thursday, like near the end of the week. But in reality, you should be conserving your capital because the market starts to act a little weird, towards the end of the week. You shouldn't be trading more. You should be trading less and only taking trades that are for sure. Because I'm sure you guys have run into that situation where you make a ton of profit in the beginning of the week, and then once Thursday and Friday comes around, you lose all that profit. So you literally just lost everything you made for that week. And I know everyone's gone through that before at some point in their trading career. So you guys got to be smart with your trades. Don't gamble it. You know, if you made a ton of profits during, you know, a week, you can either take it easy or just don't trade for the rest of the week. A lot of people love to trade on Thursday and Friday, and they just blow their accounts or they lose all their money that they earned for that entire week. And it's sad because it happens to so many people. And some people just never learn, you know. Sometimes they have to lose a lot and blow enough accounts before they could actually learn from it and realize that sometimes it's better not to take a trade than to force a trade just because, you know, you have the need to take a trade. Let's see. Oh, Velocity said, no, I failed because I fell asleep with a scalp on the line. Oh, that's horrible, bro. I was trying to stay up all night and scalp just a couple $100. Laugh my ass off, but the market pushed down heavy. But I did learn the payment for learning to invest is losing. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's just like I mentioned right now with people, you know, trying to force trades at the end of the week. At the end of the week, you should probably just, if you made enough profit, if you hit your profit goals, then, you know, I'd probably just stop trading for the week and then just pick back up the next day, because you don't want to lose all those profits that you made during that entire week. So guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm just updating my zones currently, just to make sure everything is good so that we can make sure that we have everything on point as we close out this trading week. I do have the current results right now for everything else. Everything looks pretty good. I think our overall, let me see if I can find it over here. Yeah, I think our overall profits are pretty on point. Let me see. This is week 3. So currently for this week, we have 9 wins, 1 loss for Forex. We have 267 pip profit. It's not bad at all. And then our indices, we have 2 wins and 1 loss. We're still in profit, 750 pips for the week. So we're still net positive for all of our positions this week. Pretty good. Let's see. Sam said, hey, Shawn, are you still in UJ? So I got out of UJ. I don't even have UJ on here. I'm pretty sure we got out of UJ yesterday. Let me see. Yeah, because I don't even have it marked on my chart. Let me check my the results real quick. I think I might have gone out of that yesterday. I don't know if we discussed that yesterday, but let's see. USCJPY. Yeah, so UJ hit TP2 on Wednesday. So I think all of us got out around that time. I don't know if it's still active. Let me see. Oh, technically it's still active, I think. Yeah, I don't know why it got removed from my chart, but technically it's still active. I did get out of TP2 on Wednesday. Oh, wait, no. 18th. Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. So I got out yesterday at TP2. It's technically still active. I don't know why did it get closed out, but let me put it back over here. 50 pips. So entry was right there. Yeah, UJ is actually still active. I don't understand why that I think I thought we hit full TP already, so that's why I put it back on my chart. I'm technically out of it on my own account because I put, like, when price moved down to 25 pips over here, like right here, I just moved my stop loss to that point. So when it came down right here, I moved my stop loss and then I got pulled out at TP2. But technically it's still active and it's in profit. So if you still have it running, it should be fine. Here's auto NZD still coming down. Pull up. Here's the US 30. It doesn't look like it has a signal. Let's see if it closes. If it does, then, you know, perfect. But we'll see how this plays out. Yeah, no, definitely. It looks like it did come in profit right now, Sam. So if you're still in that trade, or if you're looking to, you know, hop back into it, I personally wouldn't hop back into it because there's no sell signal. We have a buy signal. So the bias is different right now, but it might come down because this just might be a retracement candle. So, price comes down, retraces slightly, and then we get another sell signal. And then once we get that sell signal, it'll probably swing right back down. And then that'll provide for a second entry on UJ. But yeah, currently at this time, I don't have it active. I might want to re-enter at some point. Sam said same. I got greedy and re-entered. Yeah, no, I agree. I would have done the same thing because it does look like a good. It looks like a good drop. I mean, especially since we have all of these JPY pairs. We have odd JPY right here. It's coming down. Euro JPY is coming down as well. So I do expect UJ to possibly come down as well. Let's look at KJPY. It's just consolidating sideways. CHF also going sideways, but it is bearish. GJ is coming down. And yeah, so overall the JPY pairs do look good. So I could see UJ coming down further as well. Let's see. So we got velocity said, anyways, when you scalped and passed FTM on one day, you were scalping the direction of US 30 play from the day. I'm assuming on the pivots, you were scalping the opposite side of it. I was scalping both ways, velocity. So I was scalping as it came back and forth. So the signal didn't close, guys. We have another attempt right here for it to close. That's why we didn't take that one. But so what I did is I had the pivots on, and I was scalping every time it came up. So price, right here was obviously a down entry. So it came down, came up. I entered a sell like right here, and I would just keep doing that. I would enter a sell, lock in some profits. I didn't go for the full move, obviously. I only probably went for like 500 pips each time. So I went for like 500 pips each time. I would hit, full TP right there for 500 pips. Price came back up, hit another sell right here for another 500 pips. And I literally was just going back and forth every time it came down like that. It's not something that I recommend. It's not something I teach because this requires real skill for you to actually pull this off, because you can't have any emotions when you're scalping. You literally just get into the trade and then you try to hit it. I think 5 times max is my number. So I try to hit it about 5 times, which, obviously right here, if you took all of these 5 times right here, this easily would add up to 2,500 pips within, X amount of time. It doesn't take that long for it to play out. So like right here, I probably hit all of these right here. So if you do that, and I was taking huge to lot size, guys, because like I said, I only hit it X amount of times before I get out. So if I hit it that many times, that's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's 2,500 pips. And then I'm taking like a 5 lot. So if I'm taking not a 5 lot, I'm taking like a 50 lot. So I do 5 times 2,500. I can make, this is how I made 12,500 in like a day. So just scalping this. You can see these scalps right here. In 6 hours could have been in and out of this trade. I probably could have kept going, but then that's where the risk comes in, because you get stopped out right here. But this is what I mean. You have to be able to take these trades and not think about it. You just see price come up, you enter a sell, price come up, enter a sell. You just keep adding on, hedging those trades until you, yeah, this is the direction of the trend, velocity. You see the pivots are angling down, prices below the pivots, and they're spread out. So this is clearly a downtrend, right? Yeah, because the velocity said, isn't there a rule about following the general direction of the trend? And this is the general direction of the trend. Even if you drew a trend line, it's still trending down. But this is the general direction of the trend. Same situation right here. You could have entered buys right here. Price comes up, rejects off the trend. It's the same thing. So I think you might have gotten confused, because this is trading the direction of the trend. Same situation down here. Price comes down, you enter sells. You could literally do it either way. But this is why I don't teach this to people, because I make it look really simple and easy because I know what I'm doing. But if a normal person wants to do this, odds are they're not going to do it properly. Just like Velocity right here mentioned, you should be trading the direction of the trend, but I was trading the direction of the trend, so that No, there's a little more to it, Velocity, and I don't think you should even look into it because you know, you might blow your account. I don't teach. This is why I don't teach scalping to people, because I make it look so easy, but when it's happening real time. So if I replay this from this point, see, if I replayed it from this point, price already crossed, and then so price crossed the pivots. The pivots are already angling downwards. They're spread out. Price is below. So this is a downtrend. You know, a normal person probably wouldn't be able to identify this as the downtrend that quickly. So in this situation right here, it's the same thing that I just mentioned. When price comes back up, like right here, price comes up, test the pivot, I enter a short position. 500 pips right there. It's just a small scalp. It's not like I'm doing anything crazy. It's just a small scalp. You enter the trade right there. Hits full TP, right? Comes right back up right here. Another short position right there. And this is something that you learn with practice. I mean, there's a ton of people that keep begging me to scalp live. I'm not going to scalp live for you guys because I don't want you guys to learn how to trade like this if you can't even trade normally. It's very risky. A lot of people don't realize the risk that comes with scalping, you know, because it looks easy here. Like price comes back up, test the pivot, another 500 pips right there. And then it hits full TP again, right? Hits full TP again right here. And then literally the next candle touches it again. So there's already 1,500 pips right there. Price comes back up, test the pivot again right there. Another 50 pips right there. Seeing it, you just keep pretty much doing the same thing over and over again. And it looks easy when I do it, but I could already guarantee if you guys try to do this, you're going to trip out. You're not going to be able to identify these. So yeah, if you're able to identify it, well, I mean, if you want to do this, then practice on demo first, because a lot of people try to go straight to live and they try to be a pro scalper, you know, straight out the gate, and they try to trade exactly how I do, and they end up blowing their accounts because they don't do things properly. So, yeah, I mean, that's just a quick, like an easy example of how I scalp. Obviously we had the sell momentum right here. So I'm only taking sells as I ride down this way. And that's pretty much how you do it. It's real simple. It's real simple, but it's like a simple concept to understand, but to actually master it, it takes a lot of trade psychology, because you're going to see price spiking up and down, and then you're going to be so tempted to get out of a trade before it actually hits, you know, where it's supposed to go. Let's see. Yeah, Vlas said, no, I'm not going to scalp. I'm going to stick to the daily K2's trades. I was just curious because you mentioned before that you scalp, you have to do it for a long time, not just for a couple hours. Yeah, so like right here, this whole move right here, like from the first move right here to the end, I think it was to down here, that's a 7-hour sitting. You have to sit for 7 hours to be able to catch all these moves. A lot of people can't even sit for 1 hour, you know? So that's why you have to be disciplined. You have to be very on point. You have to be watching it and entering these trades manually in and out every time it comes up to the pivot. You know, a lot of people say that you can scalp for like a few minutes a day, and that's not realistic. Literally, you have to actually wait and, you know, identify these little scalp entries. You can't just like wait. This is what people do. They try to go on the 1 minute chart and they try to scalp like these little moves here. But, you know, everyone that I've seen try to do this, I do this myself personally, because what I do is I identify these entries. So like right here, so I was on the 10 minute, I'll identify this on, I'll identify this on the higher time frame, but then I will trade it on the lower one. So I'll have like an entry right here, then I'll go like on the 1 minute, and then I'll take my trades off this thing right here. But, you know, you have to be really fast when you're doing these trades. You can't take your eyes off the chart. You literally have to be sitting at the chart. So from right here, even if you were scalping this right here on these lower moves, say if you wanted to enter this right here, right? it wouldn't hit 500 pips for like another 30 minutes. So literally each entry would be 30 minutes to an hour. You can't get in and out of a trade and be done trading within like 1 hour when you're scalping. A lot of people say you can do that, but you really can't. It's not possible, because you could probably get one trade in, but that one trade is not going to be your whole trading day. You're not going to risk, you know, your entire account on this one trade, because you're not guaranteed that this is actually going to hit. And even when you're scalping, you should still use proper risk management every single time. But yeah, this is another way of doing it. But it's easier to just do it on the 10-minute, because you can just do it and then let it run and then re-enter trades as it continues to move along. Let's see. Spencer said, not my speed, but dope. Yeah, I know, definitely, Spencer. Like for something like this, you have to be 100% accurate. You know, you can't make any mistakes, because like one little mistake could be the difference between a blown account and you know, profit. Let's see, David said, just got the flu shot, RIP. Yeah, dude, I got my flu shot in September actually, so I'm good for the winter break, hopefully up until COVID is done. Here's a UJ right here. Oh, we got another entry for, or not entry, but another signal for US 30 over here. So it's just going to keep bouncing around, guys. So, you know, I actually like it when it bounces around like this, because I prefer that the signal comes a little later, not immediately after the market open. Like what happened yesterday, you know, we kind of got faked out on that trade, and I'd rather have it bounce around before it actually shoots up. Let's see, who was I talking to earlier? Yeah, Sam. So I was just looking at UJ right now. It looks good. So if you're back in that sell, it looks like it's going to come back down. So I think we might get a sell signal soon. That will confirm a drop, which is perfect, because then it'll come down and push down to our full TP down here. Velocity, trade 100 lots, risk 1 point. Nah, I think US 30 is. Yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of people like to do that, and it's funny. It's funny, but it's messed up, because some people, they'll like they'll like want to wait for like some scalp move, and then they'll wait for one, like say like this one right here, right? So they're like, all right, you know, it's scalp like enough, and then right here they try to go super heavy over leverage, like 50, 100 lots, and then the one time that it starts to pull back, they get stopped out and they blow their account. So you can't bet everything on one trade. You have to spread it out among, you know, X amount of trades if you want to scalp, because you can't just pray that it's going to hit TP, because odds are when that happens, you're probably not going to hit it. And it's all like a psychological game, guys. Like even right here. So if this pull down came up right here, because we had a sell signal, so we're taking sells, and we inserted a sell position right here, we still would have won. But yeah, it doesn't always work like that, guys. Let's see. Usman said, too early for me to scalp. I'm going away and sell my account even bigger. Yeah, exactly, Usman. That's probably the best way to do it. Like even for myself, I only scalp when I absolutely need to. Like if I'm doing a FCMO challenge and I need to pass like in 1 day, then I'll scalp, because I can literally stare at the chart and make some profit just staring at it. But you know, generally I don't like to scalp like that, because it's just too dangerous. Let's see. Velocity said, what's your Telegram, Mark? I was looking for you yesterday to message you. Yeah, Mark, Velocity is in the premium. He's trade like a sniper, I believe. And Mark is Mark's username is where's he at? It's just Mark Bond. You should see him in the premium as well. Peter said, is there news today that can affect US 30? So there is news, or it just passed actually. It was at 7. So there was news at 7 o'clock a few minutes ago, which was the CB leading index. And there was no change. It was just 0.7% across the board. It was 0.7 previously. It was forecasted to be at 0.7. And the actual was 0.7. So it should be good at this point. I wouldn't necessarily say that this, you know, directly would affect it. I would say that something else in the market would affect it. So more so like, you know, the COVID vaccine and the So check this out right here. 2 jobless claims filling up amid continued struggle. So like, since we're going to another, I guess, sort of lockdown in a lot of states in the US, that would be affecting it a lot more. So you see this drop right here, that could be affecting it more because a lot of states are reclosing, and with it reclosing, obviously businesses have to close, and it's not looking good currently. So we'll have to wait to see how things play out. That's why I'm so wary to take a buy position, because people might be buying the dip, but this thing might continue down, like it's continuing down right here. But we'll have to see. It looks like obviously the DJ is in a downtrend right now, and it's pretty clear. I mean, it's clear from the pivots, because price is below the pivots. The pivots are angling down and they're spread out. But it's also clear if you were to draw your own trend line as well. It's obviously in a downtrend. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But we do still have that running currently. So here's our odd NZD position. My position's finally in profit. We were just looking at this earlier, guys. So looking at this right here, it's dropped pretty heavy. I entered this trade a little late because of the spread. I took it for 2.2 or 2.3 standard lots. So it's looking fine. I think it's going to drop down further to TP1 right here for 10 pips, and then hopefully to TP2 for 17. Good morning, John. How's it going? Let's see. Velocity said futures is down today, I believe. Yeah, I was looking at CNBC. The futures all are down for the most part. The DJ is down, S&P is down, Nasdaq is slightly up, not very high. It's only 0.23% up. The Russell index is also slightly up, but the VIX is down as well. So all of the US indexes are pretty much down. It says right here, stocks are flat as coronavirus cases arise and jobless claims data disappoint. So let's see. Yeah, this was released on Wednesday. Yeah, guys, this is probably what caused the drop yesterday, because it says, stocks fall for a third day as coronavirus cases rise. And that was just what I mentioned earlier. A lot of businesses are starting to close down because we're going back into lockdown. So that's what's causing, majority of this drop right here. But the problem with that drop is that it's going to be like a breeding ground for speculation, because, you guys have seen what happened during, like, from March until now. Like, coronavirus news was like horrible for like a good month. And even though the coronavirus news was horrible, US 30 was spiking up like crazy. So it's like, coronavirus news could be bad, but then there's a bunch of people that are at home, have nothing to do, that are buying the dip. So, X amount of people buy the dip, and it's going to push it up, because US 30 is it's a limited asset. It's not like Forex where Forex could literally move back and forth forever. For US 30, I mean, there's market cap there, for each of these stocks. So they can only go up so high. So as people keep buying the dip, the value of the stocks go up a lot higher. So, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, guys. So we would have to wait and see how this plays out. Like I mentioned, we're just waiting for that signal to come up. I'm kind of hoping we get a sell at this point, because I don't really feel safe taking a buy, especially with all of this news updates. So let me go back to over here and see what's going on in the chat. So Usman said, Peter, there seems to be some medium impact news. Yeah, so there was medium impact news that passed not too long ago. Radomir said there was good news for the vaccine on Bloomberg today. So let's look that up real quick. COVID, Bloomberg vaccine. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Let's see what we can find. Oh, it's the same thing. Yeah. So it's the same thing that they shared here on CNBC with this Oxford study. So yeah, it looks like it's the same article, but let's take a look anyways. Yeah, so this was released yesterday. It was updated this morning. shows that there's an update for, so University of Oxford vaccine developing. So yeah, there is an update, definitely. Wow, look at these new cases, guys. That's crazy. So there's 170,000 new cases in the US just today. That's crazy. There's been over 1.13 million deaths worldwide. And there's still like 600. That's crazy because there's 623,000 new reports worldwide. And then 170,000 of that is from the US. And yeah, it doesn't look like, I mean, although there's like the vaccine getting built or, you know, being created, there's also a lot of new cases that are arising as well. So it's just like I mentioned earlier, you know, it's going to be a double-edged sword for US 30, because even though the vaccine is coming out, which would, you know, prompt people to buy the dip right here for it to come back up, the news also is not going to help because, I mean, the news of the coronavirus isn't going to help very much because it's going to also push it down, because if businesses close or have to go into lockdown, you know, it's not going to look good overall for the stock market or for the market in general. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to keep waiting for US 30. You know, it's really a game of patience, like I mentioned before. We're just going to wait for this to give us a signal. Because if you guys are familiar with the strategy, you know, basically we wait for the stock market to open right here at 6:30 a.m. my time, and then we wait for the first signal. So if we get a buy signal, we take a buy. If we get a false buy signal, where it's an invalid signal, and then we get a sell right after that, then we take a sell. That's what I prefer to take, but we will have to just wait and see how it plays out. Probably give it about 3 hours. So if the signal comes after 10 a.m. my time in about 3 hours, then we're probably going to skip it, because you guys have seen in the past where if the trade comes in too late, it generally ends up having you know, a negative impact on our position. Let's see. Yeah, Radomir said a good time to invest in Pfizer. You know, it would have been a good time like in March. I feel like I wish I put some money into Pfizer in March, because you know, obviously they were going to work on the vaccine, but the Pfizer stock like shot up like insanely. So let me see if I could pull it up over here. Load new chart. Let's do testing. Let's check out Pfizer. Let's see how they're doing. Pfizer Ltd. Pfizer Inc. Yeah, so if you're looking at Pfizer right here, if June, let's go on the daily. Yeah, so if someone bought Pfizer back here in like March, like when, you know, we went into lockdown, look at how like crazy this thing shot up right here. It's crazy. Like yeah, went up. Or is this the I don't know if this is the stock for it. Let me go check real quick, because I know it's on the you know, let me check this right here. Dow 30 index. I don't know if that's the proper symbol for it. It might be. Let's see. Pfizer is. Did they take Pfizer off the Dow 30? Oh, they did. Yeah, so I think this is it right here, but you can see the big move from this right here for Pfizer. And you know, if we took this buy signal right here, this would be a good entry right there. Damn, all the way up. It's pretty good. So yeah, with Pfizer right now, I probably wouldn't buy Pfizer because it's too high. Like you can see, it's way up here and it started way down here. So it's still establishing higher highs, you know, with the vaccine and stuff. But so like obviously a low, high, higher low, higher high slightly, and then it just kind of keeps pushing up. But currently right now, it's just that it's too high. So the thing is, you don't want to buy into it while it's that high, because it might drop even further at this point from right here. to test one of these zones right here, because there's a bunch of zones here. If you were to draw this up yourself, just looking at these zones down here, there's a bunch of areas where price can literally drop to still before it decides to come back up. So it broke below this structure over here. Take this off. Yeah, it broke through that structure right there. So you can check this out right here. This is like where this is the ranging zone right here. It's stuck within this range currently. So it could literally drop down to here, which would just be a little too risky. So I'd be careful with Pfizer if you decided to buy it right now, especially with how everything else is moving. Back at US 30, I don't really see anything coming anytime soon. I'm just gonna sit tight, see how that plays out. Here's our odd NZD. Odd NZD just keeps bouncing around, so I'm not really gonna look at it for a while because it was in green, then it wasn't, then it's back in green. But we'll just we'll keep watching this right here. Oh yeah, so Usman said Pfizer was taken off. That's why I was surprised, because it was on Dow for like a good while. Pfizer is just it's too volatile. So that's why they had to remove it, because they don't want the Dow to be jumping up and down every time some new update comes out. Dang, Mark said, you hear about the 14-year-old girl who cured COVID? She made a cure. That's crazy. Annika Chabrolu. Wow, yeah, that's crazy. So I'm looking at that article that Mark mentioned. So Mark mentioned that this girl here, 14-year-old girl, wins $25,000 prize for research and potential COVID cure. Damn, all he gave her was $25K to like solve COVID. That's crazy. He gave her a little bit more. Let's see. This is a month ago, so she's from Texas too. That's interesting. Wait, man, 25K, man, they should be paying her like 250K to be helping out with that vaccine. Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, hopefully she helps with it. I feel like there's already a cure out or some shit like it. Or sorry, guys, let me go back to. There's some sort of advancement that's out that we just don't know about. What a coincidence when the election was done and then there was this huge breakthrough, right? 25. Okay. You guys saw right there, TP2 hit for odd JPY. I'm just going to give this update over here. Where's David at? David over here. I know David's got something to talk about when it comes to to this coronavirus cure. All right, so we hit TP2 right there for odd JPY. I'm just going to give the update in the group so that you guys can be aware. So guys, I give updates, whether I'm in the trade or not, because the thing is, not everyone follows the exit strategy. Some people like to hold it to full TP, and those people still need updates too. So just because I post these updates don't mean that I'm still in the trade. I got out of the trade already in profit at TP1, a while back, a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday, I think. So wait, I called this yesterday. Yeah, so I got out of this last night. The thing with me is I don't like trades running overnight, because this always happens. Like, I'll be in a trade, it'll hit TP1, and then I go to sleep, and then it reverses. So I'm like, I should just close it at TP1 or move my stop loss at TP1 so that I could lock in those profits in case that happens. Because the worst feeling in the morning is you wake up and your trade hits stop loss when you could have easily moved your stop loss in profit and locked in profit. So like now when I go to sleep, I don't like letting trades run overnight. I just move my stop loss in profit so that I could lock that in, and I don't have to worry about anything when I wake up in the morning. It's a win-win situation because you guarantee profits, and then if it hits full TP, you can wake up to a full TP. It's just really up to you how you want to manage it. But that's why I give the updates, because some people don't follow the exit strategy. So, even if I'm out of the trade, some people are still in that trade going for full TP. Let's see. Peter said that 14-year-old girl's probably gone missing. Big Pharma doesn't like competition. I know, I agree, right? Unless they hired her to stay quiet. Let's see, John said the clinical trials just take a long time because they need to know how it works, and it doesn't kill people. I agree, John. But you know, the big pharma companies, they release these updates like with Pfizer to pretty much just shake up the market. You know, like they were saying that I think that 95% success rate for that one recent vaccine. You know, they didn't need to go and give that update. They could have just waited for, you know, real data before doing that. And when they did that, they spiked price up. And then once those people made money, they just sold it right off. So the COVID news, it just causes a lot of manipulation in the market, and it just causes more of a risky environment for us to trade in, which, you know, could be a double-edged sword. It could be good and it could be bad, because it increases volatility so we can enter these trades, but it also causes uncertainty in the market as well. David said apparently mouthwash can kill it within 30 seconds. It's coming straight from the source over here. John said many people aren't able to use X strategy because they have work, etc. Yeah, no, exactly, John. That's why, and that's why I have to give updates, because some people are still in the trade. You know, if I don't give updates, people are gonna be like, "Why didn't you tell me you hit CP, or why didn't you tell me you hit stop loss?" Anything like that. So that's why we still keep updates on the positions, even though, you know, I personally might not be in the position anymore. And when the market's good, I usually run twin positions. So you guys know how I run the twin positions as well. So that's why sometimes I'll be hitting like 2 times profit or 1.5 sometimes. Or if I do hit a loss, it'll only be a minor half loss instead of a full loss, because I've locked in profits on the previous positions. Let's see. Sorry, I'm checking my messages real quick, guys. All right, cool. So it looks like the market kind of slowed down a bit. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to, you know, send them in the chat. Otherwise, I have like 12 messages right here on Telegram that I have to get to. So I'm going to knock these out real quick. And then once I do, I'll get back to the chart. So give me up a few seconds, guys. So let me knock these out real quick. Let me see. All right, let me keep going down these questions. Let's see, I got a ton of questions from last night. I'm gonna skip over these questions that don't need to be responded. David said, come get some." That's crazy. David's over there at wherever you're at, David, you're at DMV. 26 degrees, man. That's crazy. I don't know how cold is it where you guys are, but over here it's 57 degrees. So this is cold for me. Anything below 60 is freezing for me. But where David's at, it's 26 degrees, so that's actually freezing. Yeah, man, California doesn't get cold, so I'm not used to this cold weather at all. Let me see, make sure all these questions are answered. Yeah, David's in Baltimore, so I'm not sure if where everyone else is from, but for us, this is freezing. For 26 degrees for David, I don't think that's freezing for him, but I can't imagine living in a place like that. Oh man, Usman's at -1 Celsius. I don't know what Celsius. Let me check that out. -1 Celsius. Let me see Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let me do the calculation for this. Oh dang. Okay, so it's 30 degrees over there where Usman is, man. It's crazy. I can never do that, guys. That's way too cold for me. Let me keep going down these questions real quick. Just want to make sure everything is good. All right, so I think I answered most of the questions right now. I still have a couple questions here, but I can get to those later. They're not really demanding at this point. So let's go back and check out our positions. Our odd JPY is looking really nice. It looks like it's going to drop down to full TP here for 50 pips. Our odd NZD is right here. It's dropping. It's currently in profit. I'm just inching drawdown because of the spread. My spread's 4.5, but it is technically in profit right now. And I also got into this position late. So entry is way up here. I actually got down way down here because of spread, unfortunately, but it's okay. I think it's going to come down further. So I'm not too worried about it. Just going to let it play out. And then we'll take a look at EG. EG right here is still within this zone over here. Hopefully you guys got out in profit and moved your stop loss in profit as it moved down to TP2 down here, like I mentioned earlier. And our EN position right here is swinging back into profit as well. Same with our JPY over here. I don't know if Sam, if you decided to take that trade, but if you did, it looks good. Looks like it's dropping back down in profit right here. So we can wait and see how that plays out. That's about it. So those are all our positions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all technically in profit, aside from EG. But most people should have gotten out of that trade using the exit strategy at some point. So we'll see how this all right, so there's people asking me questions right now. So one person wants me to show them, hey, morning, I have a mission setting lot size on TradingView on MT4. It's straightforward. If you could show me a quick demo how to set it on TradingView. Let's see. All right, Kushi. So Kushi, I see your question, Kushi. You're asking me, so you said, I have a mission setting lot size on TradingView on MT4. It was straightforward. If you can just show me a quick demo of how you do it, how you set on TradingView. Yeah, so I'll show you guys how to set a trade on TradingView. It's really simple. I don't understand why people get really confused with it, but it's super simple. So if you were to enter a sell position right here, you enter, sell. You enter the parameters of whatever you want to enter, take profit, stop loss, whether it be 50 pips, whether it be 100 pips, whatever. And then you set your risk right here to, 1 to 3%. If you want 1%, it'll automatically populate your position size right there. If you want 3%, it'll automatically populate your position size right there as well. So once you have that, you hit, into your limit order or your stop order or your market order, whatever you feel like putting, and then it'll automatically calculate your lot size. And this would be all you need to do. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I mean, it's extremely straightforward because it's able to calculate your lot size right here. This would be a 0.03 because it's 3,000 units. Lot sizes are just simplified unit sizes. But, obviously, if you're going to be trading, if you want to trade like a pro, you want to trade how people like on point, you're going to have to trade by risk percentage. You're not trading by lot sizes. That's why a lot of people blow their accounts. So here's a problem with a lot of people. They'll trade UJ and they'll trade like a standard lot, right? However, a standard lot on UJ is not the same as a standard lot with, say, GU, right? Or not UJ. So a standard lot with like, say, UJ is not going to be the same as a standard lot with EG because EG costs more to trade in comparison to like UJ, which is a major pair. I think that's a big confusion that a lot of people get mixed up with. A lot of people think that the lot sizes are equal across the board, but they're not because each currency is worth a different value when compared to, a cheap currency versus an expensive currency. So like for odd NZD, a pip for odd NZD is way cheaper than it would be if you're trading GU, because these are two major currencies. You know, the pound and the US dollar is going to cost a lot more versus a you know, an Aussie and a New Zealand dollar, because you can see how much the conversion rate is, you know, between each pair right here. So I think this is something that a lot of people need to understand. You shouldn't always base everything, because a lot of people, they'll want to do like you know, per $1,000 they'll do a mini lot, but that doesn't translate between specific pairs depending on what you're trading, because some are going to cost a lot more than others versus, you know, cheap pairs like odd NZD. Like basically any AUD pair and any NZD pair is going to be a lot cheaper versus trading any euro pair, pound pair, or US pair. So that's why you guys have to use a position size calculator to enter, or how to determine your actual lot size, rather than just eyeballing it and you know, most of the time doing it improperly. So here's US 30, guys. I just keep pulling back between US 30 and the FX pairs because we're still waiting for this buy signal. It looks like we might get one actually, because it's, you know, price rejected off this zone right here for a double bottom, which is like right here and right here. So it rejected, it's like a triple bottom actually. So it's 1, 2, 3 right here. And then we could probably see this shoot on up. So we'll probably see how this plays out in a bit, but we're still waiting for that signal right there. And then we will we'll wait once we get there. Hey Kushi, but yeah, going back to your question, just want to make sure that you understood that. So basically, when you enter a trade, you just hit like sell or buy, you know, depending on what you're trying to enter. You can enter a sell here, you can enter a buy here. Depending on your account size, it'll be a difference on there. You know, you just put your stop loss TP here. You can either put the number or you put the price, and then you put your risk percentage, which would be, you know, between 1% and 3%. I generally like to recommend 3%, but you can go up to 5% too. 5% is definitely the max that I recommend, but 1% to 3% would be the safest part. So 1 would be conservative trading, 3 would be moderate growth, and 5 would just be risky trading. Anything above 5, it's too risky, because if you do the math, so this is why risk percentage is really important, guys, because like I mentioned before, if you're taking 3%, so you do 100 divided by 3, you have to lose 33 back-to-back losses in order for you to blow your account. And you know, you'd have to be the most unlucky person in the universe for you to have 33 back-to-back losses. And then, like I mentioned, if you want to do 5%, you divide that by 5, you need to have 20 back-to-back losses. And this is still hard to come by. You know, I don't know anyone that's this unlucky to hit 20 back-to-back losses to blow your account, but it's actually really hard for this to happen. But if you're very conservative, say if you have a huge account and you want to be very conservative and you're trading 1%, so you divide that by 1, you have to obviously have 100 back-to-back losses, which is not going to happen, okay? So that's you know, this will almost guarantee that you'll never blow your account if you take 1% trade. You're not going to make a lot of profit right away, but if you're consistent, you're going to consistently grow that capital time and time again, because you know, our win rate at K2 is so high that it's impossible for you to blow your account with K2. We never have that many back-to-back losses, so you should never have to worry about that as long as you follow directions properly. But here's a different thing. If you're taking 10% risk, that's where things get fishy, because it only takes 10 losses back to back for you to blow your account. So that's why I never recommend going over 5%. You know, going back to our positions over here, our odd NZDs in profit now, guys. So like I mentioned, it's about to hit TP1 right here. I'm in profit $50. I took a 2.3 standard lots on this trade. This is my live account. You can see forex.com right here. You can see my name right here. And like I mentioned, this account was about like 2,000 when I started it a couple months ago. And this is just my, this is like my play money account, basically, where I just trade to, to just speculate on, pretty much for the most part. So it's looking good so far, guys. Let me see what else we got here. Sure, no problem, Kushi. Glad I could help. Let's see what else we got here. We got another question. Trader J News said, I need help with FTMO conversion lot size for US 30. So on FTMO, they measure US 30 as mini lots. So generally a normal, I'll draw it up here for you guys so you guys can see, because this is something that a lot of people get confused with. So FTMO uses many lot sizes. So for example, Hugo's way, a standard lot equals FTMO many lot. You guys get that? So FTMO uses mini lot sizes because the asset's mini. So on Hugo's way, standard lot would be 1.00 standard lot, and that would equal FTMO a mini lot, which is 0.10. So basically, if I'm taking, so if you guys see my trades, right, where I take like a 15 lot size, it's not really a 15 lot size. A lot size for, so Hugo's way, sorry guys, getting all these updates. Okay, so we have a signal right there. We have 4 minutes left. I have some time to just go over this with you guys real quick. So Hugo's way, let's use a different example. Hugo's way 0.01 equals FTMO. Sorry, let me change this right here. It's a mini lot, so it's a little different. So Hugo's way 0.01, which would equal FTMO standard lot like that. It's pretty simple. I feel like a lot of people confuse it, but it's not really that difficult. So Hugo's way a standard lot 0.01 would be an FTMO 10. So that's why when I take a 15 lot size, it's only 1.5. It's not really a make this smaller so we can fit on the screen. So this is pretty much the difference between the two. I know it's confusing at first, but once you guys do it enough times, it just becomes pretty much second nature. It's nothing too confusing. So like basically all you need to do is move the decimal over. So you see how the decimal is right here next to the 1. You just move the decimal over by 1, and then that's FTMO because it's a mini lot. So if you know the difference between standard lots, mini lots, micro lots, all you do is you move the decimal over by 1. So this is a standard. You move it over by 1, it's a mini. You move it over by 1, that's a micro, and then you move it over by another 1, that's a nano. So that's how you would calculate it. Yeah, and it'll be confusing, guys. Like, you'll keep getting mixed up between the two, but literally just to make things really simple, just remember to move the decimal point over by 1, because you're going to be comparing a standard versus a mini. So you literally just move the decimal over by 1, and then you can see right there, that's how the FTMO looks. Same with Hugo's way, 0.10, you move it over by 1. That's going to be a 1.00 on FTMO. So it's not too difficult, guys. But it is something that you need to, practice, and through practice, you'll learn it a lot more effectively. Let's see. John said, what works better for you, the play money account or the FTMO account? They both do, John, because we've been winning both ways. On FTMO, I only trade US 30. So on this account, I trade my Forex trades. So you can see that it's a lot of growth from from like 2,000 to now well over 5,000 in like a couple months, and this is just me taking these forex trades. So they were used for different purposes. There's no specific works better for me because they both work for me. I'm just taking the trades on different accounts. So obviously, if I could trade US 30 on TradingView, it'd be a lot easier because I could just click and play, you know, like I do with the Forex trades. But you know, unfortunately, we can't do that with FTMO. So you know, if they move over to TradingView, then that'll be even perfect. But you know, like I mentioned, it's not necessarily going to be a smooth ride. But all right, guys. So let's see what else we got here. Mark said, be back in a bit. Got some away and call. All right, Mark, we'll catch you back here in a little bit. Sam said, if you have the indicators, you could just enter FTMO US 30 and falling candle without doing the calculations, you know? Yeah, exactly. That's what I do, Sam. So if I have an entry right here, which, you know, we are, I have my phone ready in my hand. You see my phone over here on the screen? I have my phone ready and I just enter at market when the candle closes. So if you guys are in this, you guys can enter with market right now as well. Not right now, but once this closes, we have 18 seconds left. You can enter at market with me. And this is how I get in at, you know, exact price. We're just waiting for this candle to close with the signal intact. We have 9 seconds left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in the trade, guys. All right, let me send this out to you guys. So you guys saw me count down. I called that trade out with you guys. So you guys need to be paying attention if you want to get in at prime entry. So I'm going to go ahead and send this over to you guys right now. Let's see, we got US 30. Limit. All right, guys, I'm in the trade. So if you guys want to hop in, feel free. But I'm already in it. So let me just send this out real quick. Parameters out there. Let me just update this real quick. My entry was 29352. All right, so we're good, guys. There we go. I got everything set up. All right, so there we go. We are now live. Let me go ahead and put in my parameters for the FTMO. Let me get this in real quick. Two 29202. 29502. Make sure I got these things properly in. All right, cool. So I'm in the trade, guys. See how this goes in. Nice. Yonen's in the room again. It's like 2 a.m. over there. Yonen said, boom, I'm in. Hopefully my last trade for the day. Beers on me and West Sauce. We hit TP. Nice. No, definitely. So we're in, yeah, we should all be in the trade right now. Currently, I'm just going to set up the alerts right now. And now it's just a game of patience, guys. You know, I'm not going to try to stare at the chart all day because that's just going to drive everyone insane. But I'm definitely going to let it run. I'm just going to have my alerts set up so I know when to look at the chart. And then we can start analyzing it. So I'm going to analyze it a little bit. Once we get this all done. All right, guys, so let's start analyzing this out. Let me check this out real quick. going to zoom out from here. Turn this off. Turn the SRs right here. Man, there's a ton of zones in this area, guys. There's like a ton of zones in this area. So this is going to be kind of hard for us to really analyze because there's too many zones. I'm not really going to look at the other zones because I don't care about the ones above it, because we're trading off momentum. So what I want to see is I want to see the points of rejection. I don't want to see the points where it's going to reject in the other direction. Because what I'd rather see, so if I hide this right here, guys, what I'd rather see is these patterns where price comes and rejects off this point. So price comes down, rejects, double bottom, and then it shoots up right here, right? Same situation right here. Double bottom, we have a test right here. It's a triple bottom, actually. It's tested 1, 2, 3 times. So there's one test right here, one test right here, and one test right here. So from there, I do anticipate this to skyrocket upwards. So that's why I do feel confident with this trade. I don't really care about the upper zones because during the New York session, price will break right through it if it catches wave of momentum. So if other people identify this momentum swing upwards, there's going to be a lot of people buying the dip, and they're going to push price upwards. So, you know, analyzing US 30 is a little different in comparison to analyzing, you know, Forex trades, because Forex pairs generally range back and forth. For US 30, it's such a highly volatile pair where it'll break through structure very easily. But the more important thing is to identify areas where price is rejected and then followed by some momentum. So right here, you can see price had a double bottom, and then we had a buy signal right here. So this would have provided for a long position right there, basically. So that provided for a long position right there. Again, right here, we have the 1, 2, 3 buy signal, and that's why our, you know, our buy position went in that direction. So this this trade looks like a pretty decent trade. You know, we might see some retracement right here. We can follow the news to see if there's anything new that you know, would give us some insight as to the direction of price or, you know, possible direction. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Trump's campaign drops the Michigan election lawsuit, so it's good for that. It's not going to screw with the market. Let's see. I think that's about it for here. I don't really see anything else here with news-wise that could, you know, possibly affect it. Let me refresh this real quick. See what they're talking about on CNBC right now. Crap. Someone reported the stream. All right, we have no other news coming up soon either. So this is, you know, we see this nice rejection off this point. You can see that price is pretty much rejected off this point. This looks like a classic break and retest pattern right here. Price broke the structure. It's retesting the structure, and then we can see it reject off it and skyrocket up. So I think it should be fine on that one. Our odd NZD over here is looking decent too. Our odd JPY right here is looking beautiful. It's about to hit full TP for 50 pips. Our EN right here is pulling down back into profit, and our UJ right here is also swinging back down to full profit as well. So all these JPY pairs look great. So if you guys are still in the JPY pairs, it looks like a good hold as it could swing back down. But yeah, for US 30 here, we'll just hang on to this and watch it. Let's see if there's anything else here going on. All right, cool. So I think that's about it for now. Yeah, let's see how this plays out. I'll probably hang on for a bit. Well, I'm gonna hang around anyway. So if you guys have any questions, just put it in the chat. But I'll probably stay on for like another 2 hours. So I could call you. Sorry, guys. So that I could call the next bar candle close on the FX pairs. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to be patient with it, guys, because it's just gonna keep moving around. I'm not gonna bother staring at that because it's just gonna stress everyone out. Meanwhile, I'm going to check out the rest of my messages real quick. See if there's anything new here. Trader J said, do you think we can do this with a 10K account FTMO? Yeah, you can do it with any account. There's no limit really. You just lower your lot size. So like for me, I'm using like a 15 lot on 100K. You can just use a 1 to 3 lot on a 10K. You just gotta make it smaller. Let's see. Yeah, so everything is I mean, just looking at the at all the pairs right now, everything is kind of just, it's either stale or it's retracing back a bit. So there's not really too much to look at right now. We just gotta wait and see how things play out. But guys, I do recommend that you guys use the exit strategy for every position, especially since it's Thursday. We're getting close to the weekend. So as we get closer to the weekend, the market starts to move a little irregular because a lot of people are pulling out for the weekend already, while a lot of other speculators hop into the market to try to lock in some, some last minute profit off a trade. Oh my God, we got another US 30 signal in the other direction. So it looks like this is going to be a rocky trade, guys, which is fine. It's probably going to bounce around. It might even come back down for another test right here and then shoot back up. But let's keep on track with the news to see what's causing the movement in price. Because it seems like the market was moving pretty smooth early in the week and last week. But this week, it looks like, okay, Fauci is speaking right now, so that's probably what's causing a lot of this to happen.
It's going to start off just with you and I with a discussion. That's it.
Yeah. And then about 20 minutes in or 25 minutes in, Isabel is going to share with us.
Man, Fauci speaking. Didn't even see this coming today.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you so much. We're really excited.
So here's Fauci speaking.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. All right, we can get going now.
Yeah, Fauci speaking right now. It's gonna affect the market, man. I didn't even know who's speaking today.
We want to welcome you to today's Tasting Conversation, Public Trust in Buying. We plan to spend the next 45 minutes delving into how we can better build public trust and manage the COVID-19 pandemic.
I'll come back and check on it, but it did swing back up. So like what I want to see happen here is we get a false signal, like this false sell signal, and then it's followed by another strong bullish buy signal, and then we could have that momentum swing back upwards. But yeah, Fauci speaking right now, guys. So this wasn't even posted on the news anywhere that this was going to happen today. But I did see right here on the breaking news that he was speaking. So, I mean, hopefully he says stuff that will benefit us with regard to the vaccine and whatnot to help push, the stock market up a bit. But we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. I don't think there's anything else in the news that's causing any drops in the market. See? So we've got existing home sales have gained. That would have helped a lot of things with the economy. Barner, one negotiator in team has tested positive. See, this is a breaking market. It's red news. Unemployment insurance weekly claims. Manufacturing update. So I'm just trying to pull up any news that could likely affect. This isn't even the U.S. So I don't know who Barnier. It's from the UK. Let's see, one of our negotiators, I'm going to see, was tested positive. Yeah, I don't think that really affects the market that much. I don't know why was it a high impact news. But okay, we'll leave that alone for now. Next one, this is the this is U.S. news right here. So unemployment insurance weekly claims. All right, so it looks like people are out of jobs again. They estimated 710,000, but there was 742,000 total claims. So, this would affect the market a bit. Let me see. But I don't think it's enough to really spike it. Next up would be manufacturing business outlook. Manufacturing activity in the region continued to grow according to firms responding to. Yeah, I mean, this would tie in with the unemployment stuff as well. So I think this is sort of okay. But we'll see how this plays out. Things starting to drop again. I'm trying to see what's going on. CNBC is not working right now. Looks like someone probably reported the stream. There we go. So we can keep an eye on CNBC right now to see what's going on in the market.
A few years worth of transformation over the course of the last 12 months, but customers are definitely saying that they are excited to engage with sellers directly, and they're excited to have their sellers to their home.
If I were an investor, Patrick, I would be perhaps concerned about Google, Amazon, Apple, all of which have streaming speaker products. Apple's just come out with the HomePod Mini at $99. All of those direct competitors to you, but also content providers on your.
I'll just mute that for now, guys, until we see something. We see something that is relevant from there. Hassan said, you said add 120 to FTMO parameters before. Hassan, it depends on the current price. You can use that as a general pricing difference, but you should probably pull up your FTMO pricing and then just match it with the pricing on TradingView. So you just get this number right here, which is about what is it? Here, let me pull up the one on my phone too. So pricing on FTMO is so this pricing right here is going to be 29337, and then you'll subtract it by the FTMO pricing, which is 29279, and it's only 58 pips. So it's not always going to be 120. Sometimes it'll be 58. It just depends on how volatility is moving during that time. So right now, market's super volatile. That's why the spread or the pricing difference is a lot tighter. But it's not always like that. Sometimes it'll be around 50. Sometimes it'll be 100. Sometimes 120. It just really depends on how the market is currently moving at the time. So you'd have to go and check that to confirm it. But if you want to use a general number, you can use 120 pips, which could be a lot or it could be a little. It depends on how the market's moving. So we do see some retracement here on US 30. Not too worried because you guys saw what happened on what was it on Tuesday, where it happened where it pulled really close to stop loss, but then it shot all the way up to full TP. So don't stress it if you guys see this where it's in like some minor drawdown, because it can bounce back at any moment. You just don't really know what's going to happen next. And then looking at the news over here, I'm trying to follow to see if there's anything new that would be affecting. Sorry, and I'm like super yawning today. Yeah, I need an energy drink or some coffee or something. But yeah, let's see. Pull this up right here. Yeah, I mean, just gotta let it run, guys. There's no point in us really watching it, because I know if you guys watch it, it's just gonna stress you guys out. So what I recommend is if you guys are in your trades already, let's go out and take a walk or something, or anything really, because there's not really much that you can personally do from now until X amount of time. Let me see what's going on over here.
I mean, how tight might it
CNBC.
be if come Christmas, for example?
Yeah, it's funny because last quarter we were talking about the huge amount of demand and how do you deal with that from the supply perspective, and the team did an amazing job to address that. And then we run into things like the container shortages and port congestion and some of these things. But our team is doing an incredible job to be able to deliver the kind of quarter that we expect, deliver the kind of growth that we have. And so there are definitely challenges out there industry wide, but our team's doing a great job of working around those. And customers will see from time to time some delays in getting product. It isn't right up to the level that we hold ourselves to, but we also believe it's going to be a very good Christmas, and most people will get their products.
Hey, Patrick,
All
business model
right.
question for you. Why doesn't Sonos have a subscription model to make it easier for you?
All right, guys. So it doesn't look like there's really much to look at right now. It's 8:08 right now. We have, let's see, we have quite a bit of some time before the next 4-hour candle close. So to prevent me from like looking at this stuff super closely, I might go get some breakfast real quick. I might just go to McDonald's and get like a coffee or something so I don't have to stare at the charts. But let's see if there's anything else here for me to look at real quick. Yeah, Peter said we need Pfizer to come out and say the vaccine's 100% effective. Exactly. We need something to just push price in a certain direction so that people can hop on the bandwagon. That's really what it is. It's price being manipulated. So if they say something like the vaccine has X amount of effect, or we plan on releasing the vaccine in January, if they say something like that, then everyone's going to hop on the bandwagon and start to buy the dip, or not just Pfizer, more so something like Johnson & Johnson, or one of the companies that are actually within the Dow index. So if we do see that, then we could definitely see a push up. So I'm just looking back and forth at the US there. I don't even want to look at it, guys, because I know just looking at it, people are just going to ask a ton of questions. And the thing with trading is it's more about just being consistent and not letting emotions get the best of you. So for me, I don't even look at the chart. I'm like right here on my phone right now. I'm doing some stuff on here. But yeah, guys, I might go get some breakfast while you guys are waiting for this to play out. But I think it should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. If anything, I'll probably just keep CNBC running while I step out real quick. And I'm going to go take my dog for a walk or something. Because we still got a lot of time until the next candle. So yeah, guys, I'm going to, I'll stay online because, I'm obviously going to come back. But I'm just going to let CNBC run right here. And if you guys have questions, just, put it in the chat or send it on Telegram, and then I will get back to you guys shortly. But I'm going to step out for like a few minutes, guys, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to go grab some breakfast from McDonald's. I'm going to go grab a coffee, and then I'm going to go take my dog for a walk. So, yeah, if you guys are here, you guys can hang around. I'll be back in a bit, but let me check the positions. Yeah, everything is pretty much just moving as it should for the most part. I think your US 30 is dropping heavy right now. So, yeah, I'll keep this running, guys, and then I'll be back in a little bit because I don't really want to stand around and watch the position play out. Yeah, guys, I'll be back in a little bit. Give me a few minutes and I'll be right back.
Because it could be Crohn's disease or PD, a treatable condition that involves a buildup of scar tissue. Don't wait. Find a urologist who can diagnose and treat PD and can explain all your options, including non-surgical treatments. Find a specialized urologist today at takeonpd.com.
Retailers obviously trying to cash in on consumer apps and touch-free shopping as the new way to buy things. Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Macy's all saw their digital sales soar in this past quarter. But as we look to Q4, which retailers have developed the best strategy to support the e-commerce boom? And what's the right metric to determine who is winning? Joining us this morning, former Walmart Senior VP of Consumer Digital Brands and the co-founder of Bonobo, Sandy Dunn, now chair of the baby clothing company, Monica and Andy. Andy, welcome back. It's great to see you again.
For having me.
I wonder how you're thinking about, this is basically a massive share grab by these giants. How much of it do you think is riding on digital, and even in the case of Target, you see these year-on-year numbers come down a little bit quarter to quarter. Does that really mean a deceleration or not?
You know what I was thinking about was, where is the share coming from? And I think it's common to think about Walmart or Target or Amazon taking from each other. But I think the story one layer deeper may be the brick and mortar players who haven't figured out the way that Walmart has, the way that Target is doing. They're the ones that are making space. And so I just started looking at recent store closures, right? Pier 1, 930 out of 930 stores. GameStop, 500 out of 5,500. Gap closing 10% of its fleet. And I honed in on a fascinating one, which is GNC, which is closing doors rapidly. And it was a small story in the news, but you may have seen that Bayer acquired a 70% stake in a direct-to-consumer vitamin brand called K². And I thought that that was an interesting vignette, because I think what we'll see is large players who do brick and mortar and digital well, like Walmart and Target, will thrive. A lot of other players in the brick and mortar space who are not good at digital are going away. And then you have these really interesting upstart specialty retail brands that are DTC that are going to start to team up with larger enterprises. And that's where you see kind of the middle is where you don't want to be.
So you don't think, the names you mentioned, GNC and Gap, and the others are specialty. Is the argument that there's no scale in specialty to do this well enough to compete?
They're overstored, right? The US has got the most retail square footage per person by a factor of 4 to 1 over Germany. So I think people like simple narratives, but the simple narratives don't apply. It's not that brick and mortar is going away, it's that it's going away for players that haven't been able to pivot to digital. And it's strengthening for players that have. So I think we'll see increasing momentum at Walmart, at Target, at some of the other folks that are at a large scale able to make the investments. And it's the people in the middle, the J. Crews of the world, who are going to get crushed.
Andy, what role are social media companies going to play in this holiday shopping season? We've seen Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, even Snap and TikTok take efforts to help people sell things on their platforms. Obviously, Facebook's made a big push for small businesses. Will this be the year that those numbers really take off?
I think it's fascinating just to hone in on the TikTok phenomenon. This is something that's been relatively recent, and due to some kind of funny stuff happening on our national scene, you have an investment coming in. I know some of that works in flank, but me seeing someone who I greatly admire, and Doug McMillan, getting involved potentially in a board role there, it's really fun to see the way that commerce and these social platforms are converging. And you look back with how bad Facebook is thought of, thank God for them that they acquired Instagram, right? And so I'm particularly bullish on the role of Instagram and TikTok to drive new and exciting things for Gen Z and millennials. Facebook is a juggernaut because of who they are, but I think they're vulnerable right now. Although guy.
Hey, Andy, you were just talking about GNC and Gap being overstored. It seems to me that they might also be over-malled, right? A lot of their stores are behind these parking garage moats and like mall castle walls. It's hard to get into them in this environment if you don't want to go there. Is omni-channel, you think, especially during this holiday Q4, figuring out a smooth connection between digital and physical going to be key to who wins in retail?
I love the question, because I think if you do have physical, it can actually help if it's destination physical, the way that Costco and Home Depot and Lowe's, like Walmart and Target, you kind of go there, it's an experience. If you're in a bundle, like at a mall, it ends up looking a little bit like a credit default swap, right? Where you've got some AAA stuff, like an Apple store or a Lululemon store, and then you've got a bunch of stuff that's going away. And so if you're, double B, triple B, if that stuff starts to fall, it becomes a house of cards, because Apple and Lululemon can't be the entire mall.
Hey, finally, Andy, I want to ask you about something Doug McMillan of Walmart said on the call this week. The way we make money today and the way we'll make money in the future will be more multifaceted, whether it's marketplace or advertising, Walmart Plus, Walmart Fulfillment. I mean, it strikes me that at least in the case of your former employer, I mean, they're not just thinking about taking share. I mean, they're thinking about ways to make money that we've never thought of in a Walmart way before.
Well, I think that Sam Walton's mantra, save money, live better, it now has two more words 5 and 6, which is save time. And that's why I think when we see pick up what's being done with rapid delivery, Walmart Plus, the idea is that time is money. Families are busier than they've ever been. And so I think people playing offense to save people time is as valuable as delivering them value.
Fascinating take, and what's been a pretty amazing week for retail in general. Andy, that was helpful, really good. Thanks for helping us make some sense of it today. Good to see you.
Great to be with you. Thanks.
And fintech startup Affirm is the latest name announcing intent to IPO, adding to, I should say, what's been a busy week for companies filing to go public. We got details on that next. Don't go away.
Hi, my name is Sam Davis, and I'm going to tell you about exciting plans available to anyone with Medicare. Many plans provide broad coverage and still may save you money on monthly premiums and prescription drugs. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits, but you have to meet a deductible for each, and then you're still responsible for 20% of the costs. Next, let's look at a Medicare supplement plan. As you can see, they cover the same things as Original Medicare, and they also cover your Medicare deductibles and coinsurance, but they often have higher monthly premiums and no prescription drug coverage. Now, let's take a look at Humana's Medicare Advantage plans. With a Humana Medicare plan, hospital stays, doctor office visits, and Medicare deductibles are covered. And of course, most Humana Medicare Advantage plans include prescription drug coverage. In fact, in 2019, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $7,800 on average on their prescription costs. Most Humana Medicare Advantage plans include a Silver Sneakers fitness program at no extra cost. Dental and vision coverage is now included with most Humana Medicare Advantage plans. And you get telehealth coverage with a $0 copay. You get all this for as low as a $0 monthly plan premium in many areas. And your doctor and hospital may already be a part of Humana's large network. If you want the facts, call right now for the free decision guide from Humana. There is no obligation, so call the number on your screen right now to see if your doctor is in our network, to find out if you could save on your prescriptions, and to get our free decision guide. Humana, a more human way to help you.
When I was in high school, this was a theater I came to quite often. Well,
The support we've had over the last 2 months has been amazing. It's not just a work environment. Everyone here is family. If you are ready to open your heart and your home, check us out.
We thought for sure that we were done, and this town said not today.
More good news to report on the vaccine front tonight. Pfizer announcing its vaccine is even more than it first reported. 95% effective, grounded no more. 737 MAX is back in business, but not everybody's on board with the plan. They're not going to be marketing the next Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal. Police say these apps are being exploited. We have seen an explosion of fraud.
The facts, the truth, the news with Shepard Smith. Weekly, 7 Eastern, CNBC.
Disney California Adventure partially reopening today as part of a previously announced expansion of Downtown Disney. While no rides are open, fans will be able to enter the theme park for the first time since mid-March for outdoor dining and shopping. Now, Carl, what I think is so interesting here is this was really just an extension of that outdoor mall. This doesn't really get Disney any closer to selling tickets, which is what they want to do to get people back into the amusement park. The rides part of things, Carl. But of course, it all comes as New York City schools are shut down, and the mayor said that it seems like indoor dining in New York will shut soon.
Yeah, I mentioned with Kramer earlier this morning, Julia, that S&P cut Disney to BBB+ yesterday from A- because of the view that even with a vaccine, John, they don't see consumers necessarily rushing right back to crowded venues. Although, as we've said in the past, Disney's not a strict reopening trade. The massive success of Disney Plus has given it a huge stay-at-home element too.
Yeah, good timing for them on that. And I guess, Julia, if we're looking for silver linings here in the Disney situation, at least maybe you get some more Disney parks employees back to work. I mean, maybe get some of those parking lots full and the attendants working there. Certainly, some of the characters, some of the people working retail in downtown Disney, but a tough situation for that division for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gets some of those employees back to work and also should generate some retail sales. I mean, I think that there is a sense that people want to get out of the house and somewhere to go and everything being outside. There is the sensation that that is safer, Carl.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we work through these next few months in a hurry, guys. But as we go to break, take a look at shares of AstraZeneca. Speaking of a lot of this stuff, working on a vaccine with the University of Oxford, announcing some positive results today as the candidate produced what they call a strong immune response in older adults. Late-stage trials currently being conducted to confirm some of those findings. Shares are roughly flat today. S&P, though, trying to get back to the flat line. Squawk Alley's back in a moment.
It's a 13-hour flight. That's not a weekend.
15 minutes.
Oh, pardon. Have you downloaded the TD Ameritrade mobile app so you can quickly check the markets?
Yeah, actually, I'm taking one lesson in my dashboard before we board.
Excellent. And you have Thinkorswim mobile?
So I can finish analyzing the risk on this position.
You two are all set. Have a great flight. We'll see ya. They're getting so smart.
Choose the app that fits your investing style.
This is the investing book everyone is talking about. It's called Follow the Smart Money. And traders are lining up here to meet the authors, Shawn and Pete Najarian, and get a free copy.
The smart money on Wall Street belongs to the big boys. They're the ones with the resources and technology to know before any of us when a stock is going to move. By following their trades the way we do, you gain their advantage and get in first, ahead of the herd on the smartest trades.
You see Shawn and Pete Najarian on TV. Whether you trade stocks or options, this is how they pick their trades. And you don't have to be here to get your free copy. Call or go to followthesmartmoney.com right now. Just take care of delivery and it's yours free. Act quickly and you'll also get this companion DVD for free.
Call 800-850-3232 or go to followthesmartmoney.com now. That's 800-850-3232 or followthesmartmoney.com. That's followthesmartmoney.com.
Municipal bonds don't typically get the media coverage that the stock market does. In fact, some people may even find them boring. What they typically do offer is a stream of income that's federally tax-free. Municipal bonds from Hennigan & Walsh can give you income that's tax-free, and you have to admit, tax-free income can be very exciting. At Hennigan & Walsh, we offer you tax-free municipal bonds from across the country, so you can benefit from tax-free income wherever you live. There's nothing boring about that. If you have at least $10,000 to invest, we want to send you our exclusive bond guide for free. 1-800-217-3217. That's 1-800-217-3217. We're out to prove that tax-free income can be very exciting indeed. For your free bond guide, call now. 1-800-217-3217. That's 1-800-217-3217.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sue Herrera. Here's your CNBC News update at this hour. The most reliable cars in America are no longer made by Toyota. Mazda has claimed the top spot in Consumer Reports' annual reliability survey for the very first time. Toyota moves to second, followed by Lexus and Buick. Tesla was second to last. You can go to CNBC.com for more on Tesla's troubles. New York City's mayor says rising coronavirus cases will probably force him to close gyms and halt indoor dining within the next week or two. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has become the highest-ranking U.S. diplomat to visit an Israeli settlement in the West Bank. Pompeo also visited the disputed Golan Heights, which are occupied by Israel. And a study has found more than a quarter of older coronavirus patients suffered delirium, and a third of them did not have quote unquote typical COVID-like symptoms, such as a cough or a fever. You are up to date. That's the news update this hour. Carl, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. Bottom of the hour here, going to check on the markets. Obviously, Dow's trying to get back into the green. For a while, the Dow was on pace for its best month since 1987. And to do that, it needs about another, say, 100 points or so to do it comfortably. S&P down to 35.66. Let's get to Connie Macabella, managing partner at Kindred Ventures, talk about where we are in the markets right now, and then pivot into tech. Connie, it's good to have you back. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you again.
I wonder just broadly how you're thinking about positioning. We got all kinds of cross currents regarding the presidential transition, states locking down, but the promise of a vaccine. Where do you think sentiment needs to be at the moment?
One of the most interesting things about this year, Carl, is that historically the market has hated more than anything else uncertainty. This has been an extraordinarily uncertain year, but with continued and robust growth. And so what I think you're seeing right now is, even though we're in the midst of a lot of uncertainty because of the pandemic and a fair amount that comes to the political situation, there's still just so much liquidity in the market, and there's still such a large transformation that's happening in so many consumer sectors. And so what I'm interested in is what's happening with data centers, what's happening with gaming, what's happening with e-commerce, because all those things continue to show extremely resilient growth even in the midst of this uncertainty.
All right, so it's not necessarily, in your view, doesn't need to be a reopening trade, a stay-at-home trade, that there's a Venn diagram, I guess, of names that will drive both trends, and then, best case, look forward to growth post-pandemic in general.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier, Disney isn't a strict reopening trade, for example. But if you look at some companies that what you're seeing with what happened with COVID is there's actually been an acceleration of a number of trends that were pre-COVID. And so, for example, in e-commerce grew 40% quarter over quarter from Q1 to Q2 of this year, but we're still only 16% as compared to retail sales. And so e-commerce itself is still so early, and you're seeing a ton of upside. And the same is true in data centers and the public cloud. Forrester predicts it's going to grow another 30% next year. And so these are actually secular trends that have actually been happening irrespective of COVID, and they've only been accelerated. And so I'm quite interested in the shift where you're seeing a move towards some of these large aggregators in, for example, e-commerce, and a growing long tail of small businesses that are selling digitally. And these types of trends are something that are very resilient, even to short-term market forces like what you're trying to assess today.
Hey, Kanye, good morning. It's John. Speaking of trends accelerated by COVID, how about exits? Whether you're talking about M&A or you're talking about IPOs, or now you're talking about S1s, got one from a firm that's Max Levchin's latest startup. To take a listen to what he said earlier in the year about the prospect of going public.
Company is 8 years old. At some point, your investors start making hints and elbow gestures. So at some point, yes, I'm not in a huge hurry, but I think that the biggest curse Silicon Valley company or any technology company can do to itself is go public at a valuation that's somewhere between $2 and $5 billion. Once you clear that, your stock becomes a little bit more stable, but the volatility you take on as a $2 billion stock, $1 billion stock, you wake up the next morning and you're suddenly half your valuation. So the volatility is probably the primary reason companies like mine are hesitating.
I don't know if he feels affirmation that he's going to get a valuation above $5 billion, but even if he wasn't in a hurry, he seems to be getting there pretty quickly, right?
Absolutely. And he makes a really good point about the fact that he's not in a rush. And that's something that's important to note about this window of IPO that seemed to have been open in the last year. So many companies took so much private capital, particularly in the technology sector, over the last 10 years, and they were sort of waiting to push IPOs further and further and further. And a lot of that pressure has been released. Part of it because of stats, part of it because of the liquidity coming from the macro, and part of it because there's been consumer adoption of so many of these services over the course of the COVID period. So I actually agree with him, and I think it's a great opportunity to be going into the public markets.
But how does it look to you? It feels to me like some companies are rushing to get public. Some of these companies have been saying, oh, we're going to take our time, thinking of Airbnb, even DoorDash, and now Affirm. I think a lot of people earlier this year read the market wrong, certainly in the depths of COVID starting in March, and now they seem to be kind of running for the door. Am I wrong? You're not wrong at all. And the thing is about tech companies is, generally speaking, again, if you clear that threshold of valuation, you should be public earlier. And there's actually something really important about the discipline of figuring out how to go public and figuring out how to get your contribution margin in place. And so those companies that are at the revenue position and the market cap position whereby they can justify it are almost all better off being public sooner. What's happening, though, to your very astute observation, is that we kind of misjudged what's going to happen with COVID. And particularly in the tech sector, you just have seen an extraordinary amount of growth starting from Q2 and continuing unabated through today.
Connie, I'm curious what you're focused on right now in terms of your private investments. Some of your bets have been very prescient, investing in the early stages in Coinbase, Heartbeat Health, Total Fitness. And I think that your insight into the potential for these stay-at-home health trends in particular are really interesting. Where are you focusing now in terms of what the next generation will be, the companies that could be huge in 2 or 3 years?
That's a great question. So there's 3 categories of commerce, for example, just to start, that I think are really interesting, one of which is the long tail. And so if you just look in the public markets at Shopify, they're at a $1 billion run rate just on the subscriptions as of last month. Incredible growth in the small and medium digital enterprise. So I think the long tail opportunity and building tools for long tail businesses really interesting. Personalization. So Stitch Fix and Wayfair showed a bunch of strength through COVID. I think that's going to continue in the private market as well. Machine learning is allowing them to personalize shopping experiences for retail. And then finally, subscription. So I'm really interested in subscriptions. I think SaaS is going to grow in every category that it can: auto, health, at-home fitness, entertainment, even pets, food, grocery, transportation. And it's only a fraction of consumer spend today. You're only spending 2.5% of your average spend on subscription services today. Those things are going to explode. And so we've made investments in a company called Seasons, which is doing try before you buy from home, a company called Vitalik, which is a subscription service for home goods and apparel. We're really interested in that category because we just think that we're in the early innings, but it kind of got pulled forward again.
Yeah, pretty interesting. And just a final question. I know you hold a position in Snap. What is your expectation in terms of social advertising? And I asked Andy Dunn about social commerce, your outlook there for the next year, this coming year.
That's a great point. I happen to think that companies like Snap and
All right, cool. I think you guys could see my screen, and I think I'm unmuted. Yeah, I guess I was gone for too long and it just muted me. Okay, I'm back, guys. So let's go grab some breakfast and some coffee because my ass is falling asleep. So let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at odd NZD. Looks good. US 30 is just all over the place, honestly, guys. I was looking at it while I was out. And it just keeps bouncing back and forth. I thought when it shot up right here, it was about ready to shoot up even further. But I'm not going to bother looking at it because it's just going to have everyone stressing out over this. Dude, McDonald's coffee is so good. I don't care what anyone says about McDonald's coffee. This stuff's good. So see if there's anything worth taking right now or looking at. Look on messages real quick, because I know there's some messages that were sent out. Felix tried to help with the exit strategy. Let me send this over. I think he sent the wrong one. Let's see. Go over to my page. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, always feel free to ask away, especially right now when it's a downtime. It's only 8:39. We have about an hour left for the next candle close. So, so until then, we don't really have much to look at, because the thing is, I don't like analyzing pairs for entries until it gets close to the candle close, because the thing is, we don't want to analyze an entry and then an hour passes and then the entry is not there anymore. You kind of just wasted your time analyzing that. So for me, I like to analyze like about 30 minutes before, maybe even 10 minutes before the candle closes, so that we can identify that entry right away. Let me check my phone real quick. Sorry, guys. All right. Kyle's asking if US 30 is active. It is. Let me message him back on here. Here, let me see what else we're looking at over here. Sorry, guys, I'm just sharing this with a couple people here. Some people asking questions in the group. Yeah, US 30 is bouncing back right now. So that's good. Get back to my breakfast. While we wait for this, let me turn on CNBC, see what's going on. Hopefully we can see some like nice spikes up for our US 30. FinTech acquisition.
Cohen has led 5 SPACs that together have raised $1.5 billion. One factor that could drive the representation of women on SPACs higher is the fact that California-based SPACs must have a woman on their board, thanks to the California law mandating that California-based companies have at least one woman on their board. That's a number which must increase next year. The degree to which it increases depends on the size of the board. Now, California's boardroom equity scorecard revealing that U.S. Latinos hold a mere 2.2% of board seats among publicly traded companies.
What's up, Art? How's it going?
Index. Joining us now to talk about that is Esther Aguilera, Latino Corporate Directors Association President and CEO. Esther, I was just talking about the lack of representation of women on boards. The lack of representation of Latinos on boards is even more dramatic. And what's striking to me is I'm here in California, 40% of the population is Latino, but California-based companies do not have anywhere near that representation on their boards. Tell me why you're publishing this scorecard now and what you hope to achieve with it.
Well, you're absolutely right.
I'm here in California, 40% of the population is Latino, but California-based companies do not have anywhere near that representation on their boards. Tell me why you're publishing this scorecard now and what you hope to achieve with it.
Well, you're absolutely right. Numbers don't match up, considering that California is the most diverse state in our country. But we started tracking earlier this year how Latinas and women of color were doing in California since SB 826 was enacted. This was, you mentioned the law that required women on boards. And what we found back in March is that all of the women appointed to California-based company boards.
I'm just looking through the news, guys. I'm trying to see, any hints as to what's going to happen with US 30 since we're in that trade right now. Just trying to see what's going on. that could, you know, possibly affect our position. Like Tesla's up right now, and I don't really see too much. So I'm just listening to CNBC right now because generally they'll have like breaking news come randomly, and they'll give us hints as to the direction of price.
Law signed by Governor Newsom. That's AB 979 that also requires race ethnicity on boards. But we are not going to take anything for granted. The scorecard is meant to track who's being appointed to those California boards, how our Latinos and Latinas are doing. And I will tell you, our first scorecard now reveals
Arctic got my wits about
the
me.
appointments made
Killed 10
to
rats last night.
company boards since July 1 to the end of August. Once again, Latinos are least represented. 80% are white and only 2% are Latino Latinas. So we're here to say that we're here to be a resource because there's ample talent.
Yeah, Esther, what's so shocking to me is these numbers, there's so little diversity, and yet there's so many studies showing that diversity, both in terms of gender and also race and ethnicity, drives better results financially when you have diversity on boards and also in corporate management. Tell me what kind of resource you aim to be in terms of connecting companies with potential board members.
Sure. So we actually are writing letters to California-based companies and having these conversations. And we have kind of, it's a tale of two stories here. One, some companies say, well, we couldn't find any Latinos that were qualified for the board. And when we send them,
Make sure all the zones are looking good right now for our next entry.
Who clearly bring a lot to the table from a business perspective and bring their cultural and other insights. They're like, wow, we wish we knew you were there. So we are working proactively with companies and we want to be part of the solution. But our membership includes some of the most respected and accomplished leaders in business.
Peter said, I wish I was in Mexico right now. I was going to Mexico, Peter.
Former corporate CEOs, corporate executives, directors, and business leaders. So we're here to be a resource and part of the solution and really to take the excuse away that you can't find the candidates.
Esther, we've just come through a summer where very large companies, large and small, went through a period of new commitments to equality and diversity in the light of the discussion over racial justice in this country. I mean, haven't you seen something of a...
David said, not Colombia is where you want to be. Let's go to Colombia, David. David's familiar with it, huh? I always wanted to go, especially after watching Narcos. Can't wait for the new season to come out. Let's see. So what I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm just going down each pair. I want to make sure that the zones are on properly so that once the next candle close happens, we'll be able to identify the trades like super easily. Yeah, because the next candle closes in about an hour. So that's going to be our next FX trades come out. So right now we're just preparing for that candle close before we take any entries. So let me keep going around. David said, bro, that's wild. I can only imagine, dude. I mean, like being in any like third world country, really, it's like pretty wild, because your money goes so far and like since you're a foreigner there, it's the same way it is when like people are out here visiting from like European countries and stuff like that. Especially Americans with those US dollars. They might sell your organs to the black market though, David. I'm sure David doesn't care though, huh? He's like, you go ahead and take my organs. See EG right there. Just want to make sure everything's cool. So now that I'm like updating the zones right now, these zones are probably going to be the same ones for next week. So next week when we have the weekly chart analysis, this will probably be really smooth for us to just cover everything. Yeah, it looks fine here. Keep moving down. You know, if we hit TP tonight on US 30 after COVID-19 come to Australia. Nice. Yeah, no, I've always wanted to go to Australia too. You know, I was going to travel a lot. Like this year was supposed to be my year of traveling, but obviously, you know, COVID happened and I wasn't able to do all that, unfortunately. But hopefully by next year, we can take that. Me and David are going to take that that K² tour around the world, go visit all the traders everywhere, all over the place. I definitely want to go to Australia. That's going to be one of the places on my list, and Europe as well. I mean, honestly, the list goes on. It's endless. So hopefully COVID is all done with by next year, or we have the vaccine, and then we can start traveling again. Let's see. Just need to adjust this one. So guys, it's a lot easier if you just adjust your zones instead of, I mean, actually it's probably easier if you just redraw them, but if you already have your zones lined up, it's pretty easy to just draw them over instead of having to redo everything. And I do recommend doing, you know, an updated zone list, probably by midweek. Like Wednesday is probably a good time to do new zones, and then possibly maybe Friday before market close, so that next week, once it hits, you know, Monday, it won't take that long for you to draw your zones. For me though, I don't really mind redrawing the zones because I can do it pretty quickly, like within a few seconds. But for you know, other traders, if drawing zones is if it seems tedious to you and you don't like doing it, then just do it every couple of days to make sure that the zones line up, so that you don't have to do it all over, you know, the following week. And the zones don't really move all that much. Like they don't move crazy amount where you have to do too much. You know, it's just moving it X amount to cover the new movements in price. Sorry, I'm like focused on this. Let me see. I think this is it for the most part. Yeah, that's it for that one. So once I'm done drawing my zones, I can start looking for, you know, any possible entries and stuff like that. But right now, currently, I'm just drawing these zones just to sure everything is covered for the most part. Yeah, that one looks good. Actually, this isn't even a zone anymore. Looks like I could just connect. I actually got to redo this one. This one's super messy. That zone right there. That zone right there. So you guys can see it's actually a lot easier for me personally just to, like the zones are really messed up, or if there's a bunch of new zones, you can just redraw them. Might be easier and faster that way. There we go for GN. Let's see if there's anything else here. GU. Oh, man, US 30 is just keeps messing around on that level right there. So I'm just waiting for the level to for it to reject off and give us a buy signal. I think once we get a buy signal off there, it'll be good. But it just keeps bouncing around that area. So that's why I'm not even going to bother looking at it until, you know, it gets above back in profit, because right now it's just going to keep bouncing around that area until it finally breaks out of it. Sorry, oops, let me back that up. All right, so odd cat is good. CHF. It doesn't look like the NZD pairs really moved too much this this week, which is fine. I mean, it happens. Sometimes it's a slow week. Nothing new there. Sometimes it's just a slow week for that specific pair. However, we did hit some TPs with NZD/USD right here, and then a couple with our other positions as well. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me see if there's anything else here. I could delete this zone up here. There's nothing there. Yeah, looks good so far. USD CHF. I just keep looking back. So if you guys see me look up, I'm looking over here at the percentage, because the lower percentage the better, because we want it to go up. And it's just bouncing between 50 and 30%. It just keeps going back and forth. You know, obviously the smaller the number, the better, because we want it to be in the positive because we're buying. But yeah, it's just going to keep bouncing around, guys. Let's look back at our other positions. Nice. Look at our odd NZD right here. It's about to hit TP1. I'm in profit about 60 bucks on this trade. And this is why you guys got to diversify your trades, guys. Like I do trade US 30 on my FTMO, but I also trade, you know, the Forex pairs as well, so that you can balance out your trades. You know, I'm still heavily in profit over the week overall. We only had one US 30 stop loss anyways, and I think one FX trade loss, which wasn't a huge loss. It was like 20 pips or so. So overall, I think we're in profit about, let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, we're currently in profit for Forex, about 9 wins, 1 loss, 267 pips. And then our Forex trades are just 2 and 1. Let's see, Usman said, JPY, odd NZD in profit. Nice. Yeah, both of them are pretty heavy in profit right now. Let's see, Arik said, did you try that workout from home video I sent you? Not yet, Arik. I was going to do that today. I actually went to the actual gym yesterday, because they have some gyms that are still open here, but they're outdoor and they're kind of limited, so they're not that great. But yeah, I was thinking about trying out that workout you sent me today. So probably after we're done with the morning session right here, probably like in about an hour, once I send out the next Forex entries, then you know, I'll probably check that video out, get that in for today. I'm gonna get on that Arik Fitness. Let's see what we got here. All right, cool. I think I responded to everyone's questions. All right, nice. All right, cool. So I think, yeah, I've drawn all the zones. So let me just go through the pairs real quick. I'm just going to identify if there's any possible entries. And I'll just give some commentary as to, you know, when and where I would be entering some trades. Arik said, it's going to seem stupid at first, but you will hurt at the end. I agree. It's how a lot of workouts are. So right here for OddCAD, we do have a bearish momentum with the sell signal right here. So price is coming down. If price was to close below the zone right here, then we can take a short position. You know, this is really unfortunate, because I was going to call this trade last night, but the reason I didn't call it was because it was so close to this next zone over here. I was actually going to call this entry right here up to here for about 30 pips, which would have hit full TP. I probably should have called it, but I just thought it was too close to the zone. Unfortunately, I missed it and we didn't hit this full TP, but it would have been a full TP right there. So if this does close below here, then I would enter another short position right there and then ride it to the next zone down here for about 30 pips as well. But yeah, as we get closer to the end of the week, you know, the market starts to move a little weird. That's kind of like what's happening with US 30 right now too. It is Thursday, so a lot of people are either pulling out of the market, or speculators are just jumping on the bandwagon to, you know, ride the drop down. However, I don't know if that drop down is really going to last very long. So let's see, same situation right here. We have a sell momentum, price rejected off this point. It established a lower low, lower high. It's coming back down. If price closes below this point right here, then there would be a possible short position entry right there. But like I mentioned, it's kind of close to this next zone, so I don't know if we would take that, but that's what it would look like. Right here, JPY, it's dropping down with the rest of the AUD pairs. It's about to hit, it's on its way to full TP right here at 50 pips, so that's looking fine as well. Our odd NZD position right here, it keeps dancing around our TP1. I feel like it should have hit it already, but it's really close. So it's probably going to hit it sometime soon, which is perfectly fine as well. So that's good right there. Odd NZD, I mean odd USD. Same situation here. We have a sell momentum. Price came up. It rejected for a double top right here, possibly a triple top because there's 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection right there. It came down right here. We have a sell signal. If price closes below the zone right here, then we would have a short position right there. And we could pretty much write it down to full TP as it goes for the next zone down there. So that's it for odd USD. CAD CHF right here. We have a buy momentum right here. Price is attempting to break the zone over here. I probably wouldn't enter if it broke above this zone, but if it broke above this zone right here, I would take a long position at this point. Reason why I wouldn't take it right here is because there's only about a 10 pip cushion for you to get in and out of the trade. The spread right now is about 3 pips. You're gonna have to pay 6 pips in and out of the trade. You're only gonna have about 10 pips or less leeway for you to make some profit before exiting to the next zone. Next position right here, CAD JPY. Same situation, you know, all the JPY pairs are kind of pushing down. So right here, we do have a sell momentum. So I would wait for this to close below this point over here. Once it closes below this point, then I would take, nice. So we got a buy signal on US 30. So hopefully that closes and it shoots right up. So that's what I meant, guys. So like you can see right here, I got close to stop loss, but then I'm just not paying any attention to it because if you pay attention to it, it's just going to stress you out. That's why I'm looking at other stuff right here. And that's why I stepped outside for a bit. So right here, if CAD JPY closed below this zone right here, then I would take a sell position and then write it on a full TP to this next zone down here. It's CAD JPY. CHF JPY, same situation with all the other JPY pairs. If it closes below this point, you can enter a short position. But until then, just got to sit tight. Euro odd right here, we have a buy momentum right here. You can see price reject off this point twice, and it's like it's ascending upwards. So you can see right here that this trend is ascending upwards. So if price was to close above here, you could take a long position from this point right into this next zone for about 55 pips. There's our odd NZD, guys. If you guys are still in odd NZD, we just hit TP1 right here for 10 pips. I'm going to give an update on that. I'm in profit 84 bucks right now, going on 100. So that's looking good. Let me just send this out. It was 10 pips, something like that. There we go. And then breakfast got me sleepy now. Like dozing off. And down this coffee real quick. I don't know if I shared that position with the public group yet, but I will share it now. Nice. So yeah, my odds and NTD is dropping right now. It's in profit 85 bucks. I took 2 standard lots on this trade and it's dropping even further. So I'm just going to hang tight with it. Probably once it drops a little further, then I'll move my stop loss to TP1 and then go from there. So yeah, I'm in profit maybe about 1,500 this week just on Forex trades, taking like normal position sizes, nothing too heavy. And then I'm still in profit with US 30 as well overall. So it's been a great trading month for me, guys. Hopefully it's been great for you guys too. You know, it's all about consistency, guys. If you guys stay consistent, you guys can achieve anything really, especially with trading, guys. It's not, like I mentioned, it's not rocket science. You guys see me trade every single day. You know, the K2 strategies are available to you guys. If you guys want to learn how to trade exactly how I do, it's totally possible. You guys have access to these momentum indicators. You have access to these zones. You have access to literally everything. You have access to me. I can teach you directly. I do still give one-on-one mentorships with a lot of the K2 members. So it's available. And it's possible because you guys see me do it here live. So it's not like I'm over here doing something crazy. I'm literally showing you guys exactly what I'm doing, and you guys have access to it as well. So if you guys want to level up your trading game, it's really up to you. You got to make that move if you guys want to step up with your trading and be a full-time trader like myself. But yeah, like I mentioned, it is available to you guys just as it is to everyone else. It's just going to be up to you whether you want to put in the effort to learn, or if you want to just keep copying my trades, which is fine with me too. But yeah, so Aud and ZD looks good. I'm still in profit right here, about $100. Keep going down the pairs. I forgot where I was off, but yeah, I think I was at CHF JPY over here. Okay, Euro Aud. Oh, this is what I was looking at. So I was waiting for price to break above this zone over here. Here's one thing that I didn't really, actually I wouldn't know because there's too many zones within that area. Because generally, if it's just a big zone and there's no zones within the zone, then you could possibly take a trade from like within the zone up to the next zone as well. But since there's so many zones in there, it's pretty much irrelevant at that point. You can't really take it. Yeah, this is kind of what it looks like right here. Nice, Usman. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, Usman, you joined us like not too long ago, and it's good that I appreciate that you actually want to learn. There's a lot of people that don't want to learn, and this is a lifelong skill. Like if you don't want to work, you can just trade, and if you're consistent with your trading and you learn exactly from someone that actually knows what they're doing, then you can literally make this a career for you, just like I did for me. A lot of you guys are not, the new guys here aren't really familiar, but I used to be an attorney, so I was making pretty good money already. But, trading was my real passion. I love trading. I like teaching how to trade. And I became more and more consistent where I was able to replace my salary as an attorney and just trade full time. So instead of me waking up early in the morning and going to the office or going to court or something like that, I just wake up and I get on this webinar with you guys, and I pretty much just teach you guys what I'm doing. And you guys see me trade live all the time. So this is literally what I do all day. And if you guys like what you see, it's totally possible for you guys to make a really good living just trading. And you guys have seen the profits I make. I showed you guys my Forex profits. I'm literally on a hot streak right now. And that's how you do it, guys. You guys have to be able to trade consistently so that you can stack profits when the market's good. When the market's really good, you got to keep stacking profits so that when the market's slow, you'll be able to, weather the storm. But the market's never really slow. You guys see I trade every single day. I don't think there's been like one day where I haven't traded, whether it be, Forex or whether it be US 30. I still trade every single day. So right here for Euro Swiss, the price closed below the zone right here. You can take a short position. And here's the thing, guys, like the K2 strategies are so simple that you guys just got to keep it simple. The problem with a lot of new traders is they join K2 and they come in with the shitty knowledge. Like they learn trading from someone else that doesn't really know how to trade. And then they try to incorporate that into the K2 strategy. So like, this is super easy for K2. It's like, here, I'll just show you an example right here. So using the K2 SR strategy, this is like super simple. I'm just going to give you guys the breakdown right here of how the strategy is applied. This is the K2. And this is the strategy that I use for all of the K2 Forex signals. All the FX signals are sent using this one strategy. I only use two strategies. I use this strategy and the daily US 30 strategy. So for this one is the K2 SR zone strategy on the 4-hour time frame. And it's super simple, guys. Like for this, it's you just confirm a break and close past K2 SR level. And then confirm direction of momentum. It's literally just that. Using the K2 momentum indicator. And then after that, you just enter on the open of the following candle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is literally all you got to do, guys. So right here, price broke the zone because there's a zone right here, right? So confirm break and close past K2SR level or K2SR zone. So right there, K2SR zone, price broke the zone right here. Confirm so that's requirement number one. Requirement number two, confirm the direction momentum. Right here, we have a sell signal. So momentum's coming down. We enter on the open of the following candle right there. This is where we entered at this point, and then we write it down to full TP. That's literally it, guys. It's not rocket science. It's literally just check off the requirements. If they're met, then you enter the trade. The problem with a lot of people that join K2 later on is that they take a different course. They take a course from someone that likes to make trading really complicated so that you never get it. And you know, the whole trick in that is that they want you to not get it so that you just have to keep paying for their stuff and you guys never become profitable with them. So what happens is you guys come over to K2 and you're like, this is way too simple. There's got to be something else to it, right? Wrong. There's nothing else to it. It's literally the same thing every single time for every single trade. And you can be easily profitable just using this. Like with this one trade right here, this is 50 pips. If you took this with even the, you know, with like a mini lot size, you'd pay for your subscription with like one trade. Super simple. And that's the thing with trading. It's all about keeping the strategy simple and using proper risk management. Because the thing is, if you make it too complicated, you're not going to be able to take any trades because not all the requirements you're going to meet. You know, for me, it's 2 requirements. You confirm a break and close past the K2SR level, you confirm the momentum, and then you enter it. That's about it. And then you just got to make sure to move your stop loss and profit as it slides down. Those are the 3 things you have to do. It's like confirm the strategy, enter the trade, and then adjust your stop loss. That's literally all you have to do. But, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people just want to overcomplicate it because they learn strategies from these people that don't really know how to trade. And, you know, you can determine if someone knows how to trade by watching them trade live. Tell them to analyze something for you live, like how I do right here. I analyze exactly how I enter this trade. I showed you exactly what I look for. If they can't analyze a trade for you live, here's a trick. Throw a random pair at them. So like for me, people always ask me stuff. They're like, oh, like, can you analyze gold? With me, I don't trade gold, but I can still analyze it because I know how to trade. Same situation with like any indice or any other asset. I don't trade these other assets, but I could still analyze them for you. That's like one test that you guys should give someone if, you know, if they put themselves out as a trader, because if they know how to trade, they'll be able to analyze it for you right away. They can like pull it up and then show you guys exactly what they look for and show you guys the outcome of, you know, of their analysis. Most traders you'll ask them a question and they won't respond to you for like a day, because what they're going to do is they're going to ask someone else that actually knows what they're doing. And then they're going to give you their analysis and act like, you know, they knew what they were doing when they really did it. So just be careful with who you guys learn from in, you know, the trading space. It doesn't have to be from me. It doesn't have to be from anyone else in K2, but just be careful because there's a lot of scammers in the trading space that fake trading. Like we have a lot of people in our group that just copy my signals and resell them, you know, and that's something I can't get away from. You know, people will just create new accounts and keep doing that and keep scamming people. But, you know, you want to make sure that if you're learning from someone that they actually know what they're talking about. Let's see. Peter said, what kind of lawyer? Criminal, divorce, going after shady brokers? Well, yeah, when I was working, so when I first started working, I worked in consumer advocacy. So what we do is we would sue a lot of like pyramid scheme companies, like IML. Like you can see IML, they keep changing their name. You know, the reason they keep changing their names is because they keep getting sued. So they have to change the name of the company. They went from like iMarkets Live to like IML to like, they changed their name like 3 or 4 times, because every time they get sued and they get hit with a huge lawsuit, they got to change their name, because then they're you know, people know that they're a fraud, because they're just a pyramid scheme. It's like all these other multi-level marketing companies. You know, people still make money with those companies, but it's not really from trading. It's more so from scamming people, basically from recruiting, you know. And that's not the only company that does it. You know, there's a ton of other companies. There's like nutrition companies, healthcare companies. There's a ton of different multi-level marketing companies that do the same thing. So when I first started as a lawyer, that's what I did. I was a plaintiff attorney handling cases of fraud. So I would, you know, go after people that are committing fraud. After that, I went into the corporate world and I did corporate defense. So I started defending companies like Uber and stuff like that. So like basically when people get into car accidents, I would defend the Uber driver. Or, you know, I would defend like a business if like their, you know, if their business caught on fire or something, and then they wanted to, they wanted to recover, their losses and stuff like that, I would either defend the insurance company or defend the restaurant if someone else was suing them, if they like slip and fell within their company, within the restaurant or something like that. But yeah, I've kind of went around between different spaces of law. I didn't really do criminal law. I wanted to do criminal law because I wanted to be a public defender when I first left law school, but until I realized that they don't really make any money, it just, I needed to pay for my student loans and stuff, so I couldn't take that route. But yeah, criminal law is definitely an interesting space, and I definitely would have wanted to go into that if I could have. Maybe at some point later I could go back to it. Let's see. Titch AZ says possible to pass FTMO only using the K2 daily US 30 strategy. Yeah, that's pretty much what a lot of other people do. And that's all I use for my FTMO. It's the only trade I take on my FTMO. I trade Forex on my personal account. So it's definitely possible. There's a lot of people in the group that have passed it just by taking that specific trade. And I'm sure you can do it too, as long as you follow directions. A lot of people don't know how to follow directions. So I can't speak for you whether you can follow directions or not, but as long as you follow directions, it's totally possible. Let's see. Yeah, David said he's done it before. So yeah, he's one of the people I just take the daily US 30 entries and passed it, Let's see, Usman said, that's what I was trying to do in the beginning, bro. Trying to overcomplicate K2 strategies with other confluences just made everything too complicated. Almost blew my account. Yeah, exactly. That's something that I always tell people. You just got to keep it simple. Like how I mentioned here, this strategy only requires 2 requirements. You'll see a lot of other people try to teach you strategies where there's like 7 requirements. And it's like, dude, I'm never going to get an entry because those requirements never meet. You miss out on so many good trades. Or what they do is they try to make it super complicated, so you always need them. Like for me, there's a lot of people who learn K2 and didn't even get mentorship from me. They just watched the videos on the course and then they learned it on their own. But for other people that teach strategies, they want to add all these different things. They want to add, let me open another chart. I'll show you what like a lot of people try to do to trick people. No, I wouldn't say trick people, but to basically confuse people so much where they don't even know what the hell they're doing. And it happens all the time. It's like really unfortunate. So like something like this. So say you have nothing on the chart, right? And everyone's like, oh yeah, naked chart's the only way to trade. So what people do is they're like, oh yeah, you have to add a trend line. Plus you need to add Fibonacci's. And then they're like, yeah, and then you have to add all this other crap that's like not even really necessary. So people want to do this, they add Fibonacci's, they add a trend line, and then they do this, they add like multiple trend lines on the thing. They're like, oh yeah, so this happened right here. So this is gonna have to go down this way. But then you want it to retrace all the way up here before you enter a sell position. And then they make it so complicated where it's like you don't even take the trade. By the time you wait for this to pull up back here, price is already way down here and hit our full TP. You get what I mean? Like there's a lot of people that just want to overcomplicate it, especially the beginners. They want to trick these beginners to make them think that, they're like a trading god or something, and that you need to have all of these different things on the chart, or they want to add these other patterns, or like, oh yeah, it's an Elliott wave combo. It's so funny, man. It's funny because I've seen other people do it before. They're like, oh yeah, so this is an Elliott wave right here. So if you could easily just draw these little where's the Elliott wave thing at? Yeah, they're like, if you could easily just draw this here, like it's easy, right, bro? Easy. And then you're like, what the fuck did he just say? And it does look easy if you look at it, but then they try to overcomplicate it. Because here's the thing with Elliott wave. I like Elliott wave, but it's super subjective. So the problem with, I used to trade Elliott wave before. The problem with Elliott wave is you never really know where is the actual impulse from. Like, see, if this was the 5 right here, it should have shot all the way up here. But the thing is, people identify these things differently. So it's like super subjective. Like for me, I would identify this as the impulse, right? It could have been right here. It could have been down here. But the problem with these strategies is that they're so subjective that I see something and then you probably see something totally different. The difference with the K2 indicators is there's no subjectivity here. Literally, you just confirm that it's, you know, breaking a structure, and then you confirm the momentum. You can't get this wrong. But if you're using different things like Fibonacci or Elliott Wave or any of these other, you know, trading strategies, you're not going to see the same thing that everyone's looking at. It's going to look different for, it's going to look different if you analyze it totally differently. Because with the K2 indicators, everything is already done for you. You don't have to go do any actual work in analyzing the chart, because it pretty much does it for you already. So that's probably the main difference between the two strategies, or between my, you know, the K2 indicators and the K2 strategies versus using something that's more subjective. Because all of these tools here are subjective because you have to draw them out yourself. With the K2 indicators, they're already drawn out for you. So you don't have to do all that work, and you pretty much just follow the requirements and you should be pretty much good to go. Let's see. Shawn said, I saw one of the member was using 30 minutes for scalping. Is that also using the K2SR strategy? I'm not sure, John, if you have the, or you should probably ask them directly, because I'm not sure who you were talking about, but I don't, if you have something I can look at to see what he was doing, then I can analyze that and explain what he was doing. But there's multiple strategies that you can apply when you use the K2 strategy. So I'm gonna pull up the course real quick and I'll just show you guys the different strategies for the new people here, because I know there's some new people here that are not familiar with it. So here's the K2 course, and there's a couple strategies here. So the first strategy is the intraday strategy. The next one is the momentum pullback strategy. So that's 2 strategies there. Scalping strategies right here, there's about 3 of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the zone strategy right here, which makes it 6. The pivot strategy, which makes it 7. And the K2 daily US 30 strategy, which makes it 8. So you guys have 8 choices to choose from. They're all profitable strategies. And a lot of the times they line up with the same entry. So depending on which ones you guys like, you just need to figure out which one, you know, fits you best. And then once it does, you can just master that one. Like for me, this is the only strategy that I use for the signals right now because I trade on the 4-hour. So this K2SR zone trading strategy is used for every signal that's called with regard to Forex. For US 30, this is the strategy that's used for all of the daily US 30 entries. So these are the only 2 strategies that I use right now. However, all of these other strategies work perfectly fine as well. It just really depends on what you're looking for. All right, let me go back to the YouTube channel. Let's see. Rob said, just got your premium yesterday and it's so simple. Other people make it so difficult for no reason. Yeah, exactly, Rob. You know, I agree. It was just like what I mentioned before. You know, they want to make it super complicated. So it seems like trading is like this crazy thing that like only some people can like do. And then they make it seem like you have to learn from them. But in reality, you can literally do everything on your own. Like here, I'll show you guys how these indicators work because, well, I'll show you guys like a little understanding of how they work. Obviously, I'm not gonna give you guys the secret behind my indicators, but so these indicators, I created them from scratch. So I created these, you know, for my own knowledge where I was able to formulate them into indicators so that you guys can see exactly what I see. So a lot of people think that these indicators are like moving average crossovers, but in reality, they're not. They're more so, they detect momentum swings. So like right here, let me show you an example. So let me just hide these indicators, right? You can see right here as price. So we'll start from right here, right? So you guys can see that there's like, you can see there's signals right there, but we'll start from here. Like you'll see how price swings up, swings down, swings up. And then you can see as it swings up right here, it's followed by a bearish move, right? If you just look at these little candles right here, let me see. I'm just going to use this little tool. So I can show you guys exactly what I mean when I detect these momentum swings. So looking right here, you can see price came up, came down, came up from this point. You can see at this point right here, it established a high, right? Because it's tested it twice, 1, 2. After this, it's followed by a couple bearish candles. So you see a bearish move right here. So if I rewind this from this point, you can see it's established a high right there, right? And then you see this little bearish move right here. So when you see this bearish move right here, you can kind of identify this as, it's starting to come down. So if you turn on the indicator, you see that indicator right there, that sell signal, that's because it established a high, then it started pushing downwards with these bearish candles. So that's why this signal came up right here. So that's how I created this signal, because I was able to identify this and formulate this into an indicator. You guys saw that I didn't even see that signal was there. I literally broke it down and showed you guys what I was looking for. And then I turned this on, and then there goes the sell signal, right? So that's pretty much how I created these indicators. Same situation right here. You see price reject off this point. It establishes a low right here. And then you see this bullish movement upwards, right? So now we have these two zones right here. So price comes up, rejects off this point, comes down, swings back up, rejects off this point. Then we get a sell signal. Once we get the sell signal, price comes down, establishes a low because it rejects off the trend line, plus it rejects off this little area right here. And then we have a bullish move up right here, right? So if I hide this, you're probably it's gonna be followed by a bullish buy signal right here, right? If I move it forward. So we have a bearish candle right there. It comes down. You see how this established a structure right here? So it established a structure, and we see this push upwards, right? See, this is a nice bullish move. Price rejected off this structure, and then it pushes upwards. So now we have like a minor trend upwards now, right? So I could anticipate there to be a buy signal appearing maybe, the next candle or the following candle. So if I turn this on right here, you can see there's no signal, right? But if I move it forward, if the next candle is a bullish candle, it's probably going to be a signal. It's not. There we go. Bullish candle, probably the next one following, it's going to be a signal. See that right there? There's the bullish move I was just talking about. Because it broke the trend line, it rejected off this point, and then now we have a bullish candle right there. And then now it's probably going to push up higher to like test either this point or the same structure that it tested before. Or not, it can come down and test this point right here. So there's like two different ways that can, so this is how I identify the swings, but then like with the strategies that I mentioned, you have to identify the structure. So I would go and turn on the K2SR, and you can see that there's actually zones right here. So the K2 indicators, so you can see that I have a small sample right here. If I take this off right here, there's no way that we could have identified this zone right here just looking at this point, right? But if we turn on the K2SR indicator, we would have known that there were zones around this area. So that's why the indicators make things a lot easier, because I'm not able to look at data way back here. See, this zone is created way over here. But if I'm just looking over here, I wouldn't have seen these zones, obviously, right? And the indicators just pretty much make things a whole lot easier for you so that you can identify these zoned areas right here. So obviously I wouldn't have entered that buy signal because it was within a zone. But without the indicator, you wouldn't have known that there was a zone right here. So that's just like, a quick breakdown of how the indicators work. Because a lot of people always ask me, how did I come up with these indicators? The thing is, I'm able to identify these things on the chart without having the indicators up. Like I created these indicators from scratch. And they're all from, my thought process and what I was able to identify from analyzing the markets over these years. Let's see. So US 30 is still digging around over here. Man, US 30 is so annoying today, guys. It's like, it literally pushes up and it comes back down, pushes up, comes back down. So it looks like it's pretty much ranging within this zone. Looks like it's going to pretty much range until it breaks above. I think once it breaks above this point, then we could probably see it skyrocket even higher. But yeah, guys, so, if you guys well, there's a couple of people who have signed up to the K2 indicators. I mean, the K2 strategy. So guys, just a reminder, you know, one-on-one mentorship is available for everyone that is subscribed to the K2 indicators. The reason for that is because I can only help you guys if you guys have access to these indicators. Because like I mentioned, like I can see all this stuff on the chart without the indicators, but you guys can't see it. So in order for me to teach you guys need these training wheels to identify, you know, where these swings in momentum are. Because the more and more that you practice and you learn how to apply the strategies, the easier it'll be for you to identify these swings in price. So, you know, it'll come to a point where you apply the strategies so often where you don't even need the indicators anymore. But obviously the indicator is going to make it a lot more efficient for you to trade because we have like 30 pairs to look at. So if you're going to be analyzing all of these from scratch, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort for you to actually get everything down. So if you guys have the indicators, you're able to just pull it up and zoom through every single pair, and you'll see if there's any entries for any of them as you look. Nice. Here's my odd NCD right here. I'm in profit $100. Probably move my stop loss and profit now to you know, like 60 or $50 at least. Man, the freaking spread is so wide. I'm trying to move my stop loss and profit, but I mean, I can't right now. So I'll just hang on to it for a bit. Let it continue dropping, or I might close it actually, because if I head out, I need to take my dog to the dog park soon. So if I by 10 o'clock, if I can't move my stop loss and profit to like $50, then I'm probably just gonna close it. I'm gonna just close it now because I just don't want to not be able to monitor it while I'm away. I'll probably just let it run for a bit and I'll think about it. I just sit on it for a bit. Because if anything, I could exit the trade and I'll just re-enter later. I just don't like not being able to monitor it while I'm doing stuff. So I'll just close it out for right now. So I locked in some profit on that, guys. Let me see. So let me check my Forex profit. Man, I've had nonstop wins, guys, for my Forex trades. It's been freaking nice. So let me, yeah, I don't know if you guys can see my screen. Let's see. Let's see if you guys can see it from here. So you guys can see my screen. You guys can see how it's, you see how those green numbers right there? It's like profit between like 100 to $500 each trade. You can see that they're all green, right? So green, 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 green. Literally, they're all green. So for my Forex trades, I haven't had any losses because I use proper risk management and I lock in like 300 to $500 per trade easily. And this is my live forex.com account. See, they're literally all green. You see any red there? So it's totally possible, guys. If you guys follow directions and actually do things properly and not just, you know, trade blindly, you can easily have, you know, literally an unlimited win streak right there. So my Forex account's looking nice. Same with my, well, I'm still in profit with my FTMO, so I'm not tripping about that. It's just that it keeps messing around on there. Let's see, Yonan said, have you tried the K2 system on Australia 200? I might try it next week. Grinding. Yeah, no, it does work on it. There's a couple people. I don't know if DJ is in here. So DJ is one of our traders in here. He, yeah, DJ is one of our traders in here. He used it on the Aussie during the Aussie Open. And you can use it too. It's just, it's not necessarily something that I personally trade because I don't really like trading during the Asia session or Aussie session for indices because the market's just way too slow. But you could catch a lot, like some pretty smooth moves on the Aussie versus, you know, the other pairs during that session since that specific asset's open during that time. like I don't really recommend trading like US 30 during that time because it's not open during that time. But yeah, for something like the Aussie 200, you could probably use it. So let me pull up Aussie 200 right here. Actually, let me pull up a different chart. Looking at the Aussie 200 and then applying this. So I think the main problem, well, not problem, but the main thing that you probably have to do when you're identifying this is to find the sweet spot. So that was one of the issues that it's just too much work to look for the sweet spot with regard to entry and with regard to stop loss TP, because I don't trade Aussie 200, but right here, 1500 hours, this is when the Aussie market opens. So you can see right here after 1500, the first signal right here was a buy signal, right? So if you took this signal right here, you would have hit full TP for a gain of, I'm not sure if this is 175 pips or 1700 or 1,700 and 500 pips. So I'm not sure what this would be for you, Ion, if you're looking at this right here. But yeah, applying the same strategy right here, when the Aussie market opens, it looks like it works perfectly fine. Again, similarly over here, let's see if it works over here as well. So right here, 1500 hours. So this is when the Aussie market opened on the 17th. The first signal was a buy signal, right? If you took that entry right there, it looks like it would have been a win as well for about, I'm not sure if this is 221 pips or 2,210 pips. So if you took that trade, it would have hit full TP right there as well. So it looks like it's pretty accurate for the most part. I think DJ, he was playing around with it, and it, you know, he had some success and some hard trades, but I think for the most part, it looks like it works perfectly fine. Not perfectly fine, but, you know, decently fine. So right here again. So I'm just going over the trades for this week, Ion. So like, I don't know how to pronounce your name, bro. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I think it's Ionin Duggan. So right here, this was the entry for the 18th yesterday, full TP. Entry again right here on the 17th, full TP. And then again right here on the 16th, full TP again right there. Let's check the one prior to that on the 15th. I don't know if 15th was Sunday. It might have been. So if it was, then it wouldn't. Oh, no, it was fine. So right here's the 15th. You enter the short position right here because this is when the Aussie market opened. This is the first K2 signal right here. If you took this trade right here, this also would have been a full TP right there. So it looks like if you took every Aussie 200 trade this week, yeah, because this is the weekend. So this was Monday. You took the trade here, full TP. Wait, what was today's the 19th. So yeah, the 15th was Monday. So this is Monday, full TP. Tuesday, full TP. Yesterday, Wednesday, full TP. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's Sunday actually. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all full TP. So Duggan, yeah, if you saw this right here, they all hit full TP this week if you applied the same strategy. But like what I mentioned is you would have to back test it and find the sweet spot. Because for me, with a US 30, we take the entry off the New York Stock Exchange open, which is 6:30, but the US market actually opens at 5:30. So that was the test that I needed to back test. I needed to test whether I had a higher win rate at 5:30 or if I had a higher win rate at 6:30. And I figured that the 6:30 was probably the best one because of you know, the specific market. Like the New York Stock Exchange is where the Dow trades. So like when that market opens, that would be when I would be taking the trade. But let's see. So if we took this trade here, it looks like it, I mean, it technically would still be active. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of different ways to apply it. But if you want to go and back test it, it looks like the sweet spot for here might be the Aussie Open at 1500 hours my time, which I'm not sure what time it would be for you guys over there. but I'm sure you know what time the stock market opens over there for, you know, the Aussie market. So I would probably base it off that specific time, but it does look like it worked out perfectly right there. Nice. So here we have another buy signal for US 30. Hopefully it closes, and then hopefully it just shoots to the moon. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, all of our other positions look perfectly fine. Let me see what RX said. RX said, can you show the pair rotation, how you search for breaks for those zones from pair to pair, like you cycle through for your setups? Yeah, RX, I mean, it's super simple. Like first, all you got to do is draw the zones. So first you draw the zones, and then you literally just go from pair to pair. So you go to OddCAD, there's no break in price zone right here, right? So price hasn't broken a zone, there's no entry. Odd CHF, price hasn't broken a zone, no entry. Odd JPY, we have a current entry right here. Price broke the zone right here. That's why we took a sell entry on that one. Same with odd NZD right here. Price broke the zone right here. We took an entry right here. We're in profit. Odd USD, price hasn't broken a zone right here. No entry. CAD CHF, price hasn't broken a zone. No entry. CAD JPY, price hasn't broken a zone. No entry. CHF JPY, price has not broken the zone down here yet. So until it breaks that zone, no entry. Euro odd, price right here hasn't broken this zone. Until it does, there's no entry. Euro CAD, right here, price came up and then it broke the zone right here. There's an entry right here if you wanted to take a short position, which looks like it would have hit TP1 at the very least, but it's too close to this next zone down here. So that's why I didn't call this specific trade. So there's an entry there, but it's a risky entry because price is too close to the next zone. Right here, we have a buy signal. I mean, technically it broke the zone, but like I mentioned, it's only about 7 pips from the next zone. So there's no entry right there. EG right here, price broke the zone right here. It did hit our TP2 and then it swung upwards. So this was the original entry. If you moved your stop loss in profit, you would have gone stopped out in profit. And it's still currently active right now, but there's no entry moving forward because it hasn't broken a zone. Same situation right here with EJ. Price hasn't broken the zone right here. Once it breaks the zone, there'll be an entry. EN right here, we have a sell signal right here. It already hit our TP2 for 40 pips in profit. You should have moved your stop loss in profit to exit this trade. However, currently right now, there's no entry. Euro USD, we had a sell signal right here. Price hasn't broken the zone down here. Until it breaks the zone, there's no entry. GA right here, we have a buy momentum right here. Price broke the zone right here, but it was too close to this zone over here, so we wouldn't have taken this trade. However, price broke below here, and then it closed again right here. So if you took this trade right over here, it would have hit TP at this next zone right here for about 35 pips. So there's an entry for that, but currently there's no entry. GBP CAD right here, price broke the zone right here, and then we'd have to wait for this to break below here. Once it breaks below here, we can enter a short position. However, it hasn't broken close below it, so there's no entry at this time. GBP CHF right here, price hasn't broken a zone, there's no entry. GJ, we have a sell momentum right here. We'd have to wait for this to close below this zone right here, and then we'd have an entry for a short position. However, price is too close to this next zone over here, so we probably wouldn't have taken this entry, even though it's about 33 pips. Right here for GN, we have a sell momentum. We'd have to wait for price to break below this zone right here. Once price breaks below the zone down here, we would have an entry for a short position right there. G over here, this was an entry. I'm not sure if I called it or if I was thinking about calling it, but this would have been an entry because price broke below the zone right here. We had a sell momentum. Oh, that's why. So the reason why we didn't call this signal over here or an entry was because there was no momentum coming down. The momentum was still coming up. But right here, price broke the zone. We had a sell momentum right here. So this would have been an entry, but price is just too close to this next zone down here. So I wouldn't have taken this trade because it's just too risky for you to take that trade for that small little increase. Right here, there's no break in zone, so there's no entry. NZD-CHF. Right here, we have a buy momentum. Price is with low. It's below this entry, this K2SR zone. So until price breaks this zone right here, there's not going to be an entry available. And even if there was, it looks like there's only about a 20 pip cushion within this area. So we probably wouldn't have taken this trade anyways. NZD-JPY, right here, price hasn't broken a zone, so there's no entry. NZD-USD, price hasn't broken a zone, so there's no entry. USD-CAD, we have a buy momentum. Price would have to break above this zone right here for there to be an entry. However, it's kind of close to this next zone up here. So this might be a bit too risky of a trade to take. Same right here for CHF. USD CHF, price broke the zone right here, but we don't have a sell momentum signal coming this direction. Once we do get a sell signal, then we can take a sell position. Right here, you can see price broke the zone right here. We had a sell signal, and then we could have entered a short position right here to this next zone over here, 40 pips, which I'm not sure if we called, but if we did, it would have hit full TP right there. So that's pretty much how I'd identify that. Lastly, UJ right here. For UJ, we currently have an active position. Reason why this was called was because price broke the zone right here. And then we had a sell momentum indicating a momentum swing downwards. So we entered a sell position, identifying this as a swing downwards to the next zone over here. Sorry, I'm checking my CNBC. But yeah, ARC, so pretty much I analyzed every single pair that we have right here for Forex, and that's pretty much how I do it. You know, you just identify if the requirements have been met. If the requirements haven't been met, there's no entry. If the requirements are met, then there's an entry. And that's pretty much it. You know, kept it simple, only 2 requirements to look for. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any entries for the next 4-hour candle close, unfortunately. So we still have 3 or 5 current active trades right now, which is completely fine. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any other entries available moving forward. So yeah, our US 30 trade is still active, but like I mentioned, it's still bouncing around. It's literally just consolidating within these 2 zones right here. These are the 2 zones I drew using the K2SR indicator. So we're I mean, at this point, we're just going to be waiting for it to, you know, break above this zone. Once price breaks above the zone, then we can probably see it shoot into profit, hopefully. But yeah, we're just going to be hanging on for a bit, looks like. See, everything else here is looking fine. It's kind of a good thing I exited my auto NZD at TB1 because it pulled back a bit. Maybe if it pulls back a little further, I can probably enter a late sell position on that one. That's new. Cool, yeah. This is what I like about TradingView, guys. So TradingView always has like a ton of updates that that come up every so often. It's way different compared to you know, MT4 and stuff like that. But yeah, guys. So I think that's it. I don't see any trades coming up for any of the Forex pairs right now. I did scan through literally everything, and I didn't see anything available. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any entries off the 10 p.m. my 10 p.m. 4-hour candle close. So since there's no entry at 10 p.m., you know, I'll give you guys an update in the premium. But since there's no entry, it looks like we'll probably be calling it a day for the webinar today. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to reach out. But until then, we'll probably regroup around Asia session. We'll see if there's any entries around that time so that we can, you know, close this week out strong. Let me see if there's any news coming up. So yeah, we don't have news until 11 p.m. tonight, so it should be pretty much an open market tonight at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is probably going to be the last time we send out any signals, and then from that point, we will probably just sit tight. Also, it looks like we might be avoiding a US 30 tomorrow because there's some news tomorrow for you know, retail sales and stuff like that. These generally affect the market, so I'm probably not going to call the daily US 30 entry tomorrow. But, you know, you guys are free to take it if you guys have the indicators. Obviously, you guys can apply it yourself, but we'll see. I mean, we might take it, might not, but it's leaning towards probably not taking it because we do have some news tomorrow morning, and the G20 meetings start on Saturday. So there's going to be some speculation tomorrow, or there just might be no volatility because people are just going to pull out for the weekend early, because there's stuff going on next week. Let's check the news for next week. we do have some news throughout the week next week, but I think it should be a little okay. I mean, the only pressing stuff would probably be the US PMI. That might affect it, but maybe not. You know, we'll just have to wait and see how that affects it. Then we have the consumer confidence on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, we have the unemployment claims. So, I mean, we have a pretty heavy news week next week, but we're probably still going to trade right through it, guys. Like, I'm not going to hold back all too much, but we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this webinar. Just a reminder, I do this every Monday through Thursday around 6:30 a.m. before the New York Stock Exchange opens, so that we can, you know, get together and try to enter these trades together. And then so you guys can ask any questions if you guys have any. So I'll probably be back online with you guys maybe Sunday for the weekly chart analysis, and then we'll be back with our daily webinars come Monday. So yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. If you guys have questions, just feel free to reach out to me on Telegram. Otherwise, I will be monitoring these trades, you know, from a distance, and I'll be giving you guys updates as we hit TP, and you know, if I see anything else affecting the market along the way. But yeah, guys, thanks for showing up, and then I'll catch you guys hopefully next week. And if I do call the trade for tomorrow for US 30, I'll send it out, but it's not looking like it because Friday is just it's you know you guys, it's a risky time to trade it, so I don't want to take any unnecessary risk for us when we really don't need to. But yeah, guys, so I'll catch you guys later.